because that's how they got to be billion-dollar insurance companies. If you've been injured, I'd like to help.
Spencer Callahan is the one to see. Call 387-2323.
LA filing number 16-7969.
WNXX, Jackson, KNXX, Donaldsonville, and WDGL HD2 Baton Rouge. This hour brought to you by Spencer Callahan Injury Lawyers, LA 21-12681. Offices in Baton Rouge.
Good morning. It's 7 a.m. here on Thursday, July 18th. Today in Baton Rouge, you can expect rainy skies with a high of 90. In hour one of today's show, we'll preview day 4 of SEC Media Days and react to 5-star DB DJ Pickett committing to the LSU Tigers. You can follow us on Twitter or Instagram at OTB_ESPN and watch us on YouTube at the 1045 ESPN channel. Hour number 1 of Off the Bench, live from Dallas, Texas at the 2024 SEC Media Days, starts now.
Let we go! All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Hey, Peter said I got to come off the bench.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Yo.
What's going on, yo? Welcome in SEC Media Days. It is day 4 here in Dallas, Thursday, July 18th. And remember, our coverage of SEC Media Days 2024 brought to you by Parish Construction and Roofing. Visit parishbuilt.com. Also by Revs and Relief Windows. What's happening, y'all? I am T-Bob. He's Jake Hester. We got Rivs Huey here on site producing. Been about knocking out like 13-hour days for Rivs in this room. Pretty much 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. That's 12, but still, you get the point. Doing a great job. Alondra Taylor holding down back home. And I wanted to start this show so happy because LSU gets DJ Pickett. An absolutely massive recruiting win. Stopping Phil Knight in Oregon. And there's all this good baseball news. And then right like 2 minutes before the show starts, y'all tell me that there is a room upstairs that I am not credentialed for on the 5th floor, that if I ride a mechanical bull, I receive a cowboy hat.
Custom.
A sentence that seems tailor-made for my existence. And yet you, Jake, being my partner and friend, and knowing about this all week long, never deemed fit to tell me until right here on the last day we're about to leave that there are custom cowboy hats being given out for riding a mechanical bull. I am upset.
I think that he's actually a little upset.
I'm not. I'm turning up the bitness a little bit for the bit, but like I feel left out.
I don't have one.
But
you had the option to get one.
Yeah, well, I mean, I never got. Why did I get a chance to ride the bull?
Look, there's still time.
Look.
But then I could have been wearing the cowboy hat around the whole time.
Oh, no.
I didn't necessarily know that if you were on the 5th floor that you would get one. I thought that it was going to be more Doring was just talking his way into getting one. But then when I saw Peter Burns, I'm like, well, Peter, he's probably, I'm Peter Burns, SEC Network. Peter is. But then when I saw Cole get one, I was like, oh, yeah.
They're just giving those things out.
Yeah, I guess they're giving them to
a champ in the chat. The toughest news
here.
some friends ever receive is the news they never receive.
Yeah. Okay, that's very well said, champ. Very poignant. Very accurate.
But you already have a cowboy hat.
No, I sat on it. And who cares? You can have multiple cowboy hats.
And these are like nice cowboy hats.
And I just feel a bit left out. Again, riding a mechanical bull is in my wheelhouse. That's like right in there. So are cowboy hats, like comedic cowboy hats especially.
Yeah. I thought I was, maybe I thought I was a foxhole guy by not getting one. I had the option, but I didn't because T-Bob can't get one. Because T-Bob can't get one.
No, that's a lie. That's a
lie.
And you didn't even tell me that you had the option to get one.
Neither one of y'all know that. Y'all ain't up there.
Yeah, apparently. Yeah. That's the problem. Okay?
That's above our pay grade.
Problem. I'm literally not allowed up there now. You're telling me.
Like for real, not allowed. Because yesterday there was a situation.
Oh no.
Yeah, apparently one of the I don't know who, but a print guy went up past the security and was like hounding a player, and like wouldn't go down, like wouldn't go away.
Oh, no.
Yeah, and like because obviously like
good
we're joking
journalism.
before, like if T-Bob's come up there to see me, I'd be like, hey T, come on
Right.
down. They're like, hey, you can't even escort people up here if they don't have a pink badge. You're not getting past here.
Well, they're kind of being a lot, like, pretty strict, even just in this area on Radio Row with these badges.
Yeah, oh yeah, no, I know. It's funny. I mean, Nick Saban had the line about how for the first time ever at SC Media Days he had to go back to his room to get his credential.
I kind of believe it here.
So I was gonna
Yeah.
say I thought it was just kind of a humble look at me bit, like because I'm a normal person, but. Nick got invited to ride the freaking bull, dude. Which I mean, he should.
Do you think Nick rode the bull?
He should. No. But in terms of like,
But then that would
priorities-
really complete the full circle. New Nick Saban,
Who do I need to be
who
mad
giggles
at?
on TV.
Who set this up?
I do not.
Who
know.
is the arbiter of the bull invites? Because it's bull spit, and I haven't been invited.
Hey, I tell you what, I am not gonna go up there and do that because I want to be one with you, like lockstep.
No. I don't.
If you were a real foxhole guy,
I don't wanna
you
hold
would
you back
give
from
T-Bob
getting your
your
cowboy hat.
credential and let him go up to the 5th floor.
They'd be so and then what do you say? Like, hey guys,
Somebody meeting me for the first time. That's Hester.
hey guys, let
Up on
me
that
on
bull?
the bull and let me get a hat. Who all is in the pink badge club? So XM Radio.
Sirius XM, ESPN, and SEC Network.
I'm. This.
What size do you
Yeah,
wear?
how
Can
I
go
feel.
steal one
I don't.
for
Well,
you?
no, it's not. It's not about that. It's not. It's about.
What is it about?
The lack of. It's about the lack of invite as much as the lack of hat. How cold my head is right now. The only thing that is worse is today's lineup at SEC Media Days. Only thing making me feel worse is the fact that some poor sap's going to have to cover Kentucky's press conference at 3:25 this afternoon.
Somebody's going to stay here till 4 o'clock this
Yeah.
afternoon.
Yeah.
Talking all the teams. I better be 4, not 5. I think I'm 4.
Arkansas, A&M, Auburn, Kentucky. Not exactly a
I wonder
banner
why they
day.
now A&M's
A&M's
yeah,
excited.
I wonder why they didn't save Texas or Oklahoma for today. Last,
because-
make everybody kind of stay,
Yep.
stick around.
Yeah, I guess it would have maybe you're right.
Maybe they
forced
were-
hands because I was going to say because like
They know people
don't
aren't gonna stay.
Yeah, people
No.
don't stay till
People were
Thursday
zombies
normally.
yesterday at like
Yeah.
1 o'clock.
I ran into Jim Nagy in that room. We had both just found the cookie cart, and we both just found ourselves standing there just eating our cookies and just hitting a wall.
Everybody was kind of walling out yesterday.
And that was like 2 p.m. I was like, oh, no.
When I saw Jake at the end
AFR
of his
hasn't
shift
started.
yesterday, he was looking like he was hurting. A few 8-9 hour on air days will do that to you for sure.
I felt like the Popeye meme yesterday. Yeah, when he's sitting on the bench, the worker from Popeyes.
Oh, the work. I was thinking like Papa
Oh,
the cartoon.
me
No,
too.
The old
no,
one.
I was like, oh, wow.
I did not feel like
Just
the
bent over,
cartoon.
head
Yes.
in hand,
Mm-hmm.
just tired. Maybe eat some spinach, feel better. All right, I'm over it, guys. I'm over it.
You seem like it.
I'm not completely over it, but
How
I
many
do wanna
times do you
talk
think
about-
he's going to bring it up today?
I'm not.
Every time.
I'm not.
Cole walks by, every time Doring walks by. Trying to think who else got one yesterday.
I just want everybody. I want you, Doreen, Burns, Cole. I just want everybody to know if I ever have access to a mechanical bull that if you ride it, you're getting custom-made cowboy hats handed to you. None of y'all are getting invited. Okay,
It's fair. It would be a fair trade.
just know that. Anyway, so LSU, massive recruiting win yesterday as 5-star corner DJ Pickett, a guy who's the number one corner in the nation according to On 3, number 3 player overall, Jake. If you do the industry rankings, which is their composite, right, with all the major recruiting services, he's the number 2 ranked corner in the entire country. He's the number 6 player overall. Like, this is as heralded, as high of a recruit as you will get in this business. And it's like I said the other day, man, when you get these big-time recruiting wins, they are great for the team because players like this are nearly sure things, right?
Yeah.
Now, the level of the surety can be variable and how high they are. Do they take a little longer? But they're nearly sure things in terms of being really good and be contributors their entire career. But also I feel like symbolically this is a massive win as well because, as we'll get to in the quotes from Pickett, it really solidifies Cory Raymond and what he's been able to do here, why you rehired him, why you worked so hard to bring him back into the fold.
Times, right.
And after Oregon coming in, taking to Corey and Moore, winning the battle for Dorian Brew, and then all of the smoke in the street that they were going to be the Pickett pick, is a nice little thumbing of the nose at Phil Knight and the Ducks that LSU emerged as the winner here.
Oh, it's a huge win because this isn't someone from the state of Louisiana. It's not somebody with ties to Louisiana where you're going to get him and it's like, gosh, why do we get him? How do we get him? It's obviously like down the road you don't care, but it's like, okay, well, why and how did we get this player? And you got this player because of Cory Raymond. So that makes you feel really good. And it also makes you feel really good that you got this player that plays DB when you're trying to get back to your standard. And you can go into Florida. So why I say, like, he's not from Louisiana, this wasn't an easy one. You go to the state of Florida, a place that is hard as anywhere to go get somebody from other schools, and it shows that you still got that juice. You still have that power to go get a defensive player. Now, you've got Bryce Underwood. You've got Harlan Berry. Right? You've gotten the offensive guys because, well, over the last couple of years, you've been one of the best offenses in the country. This is a big win because of who it is, where it is, and where you currently sit.
Yeah, that's it's interesting because it sounds like the recruiting pitch to Pickett was the same as Brian Kelly's recruiting pitch to Bo Davis, which was when they were getting Bo Davis over from Texas, basically said, "Look, man, we want you to be the architect of remaking the LSU defensive line to where it, to its glory days of the past. Right? And we're going to empower you to make it in your image. You're going to have a lot of autonomy when doing so." Well, in the same way, Cory Raymond is pitching DJ Pickett on, look, we need you to restore the glory of DBU and bring LSU's defensive backs back to where they once were. Here are a couple of Pickett quotes that I want to read that reinforce your point, Jake, about how Raymond-centric this all is. And this is him talking about the other teams. "I wish them the best, but I'm at LSU now. If you are a DB and Coach Raymond is at LSU, I feel that's the right place to be at." That tells you everything right there. That's just quick, simple, to the point. I actually love it, too. If you're a DB and Raymond's at LSU, okay, easy. The math, I mean, it's 2 plus 2. Damian Pickett, his father, told On3, quote, "Cory Raymond, the defensive backs, the history of the defensive backs, the location, Baton Rouge is in a great location, the school is, and it's just the Cory Raymond factor. And it's defensive back DBU, that's a big factor for LSU. The fact they've developed so many DBs, Cory Raymond developed so many DBs at the school. The recruiting is in the pudding. There are so many greats that played at LSU. I'd say history as far as LSU. So it is a mixture of the tradition there and what that means culturally. And then Cory Raymond, who was, a lot of the kind of at the source of a lot of that tradition. But then it's just Cory Raymond, man. Cory Raymond, look, this is why you hired him. And look, you had you have Bo Davis landing guys, and you have Cory Raymond landing guys. Kevin Peoples, he landed at Shanklin, that really good top 100 edge rusher, July 5th. And then Shanklin just shut it down yesterday and said, "I'm not taking any more official." Like, I am 1,000% committed. Nobody talked to me. Something
we probably don't talk enough about is the communication and recruiting. The prior defensive staff, what did they really struggle with? Communicating with the current players.
Oh, yeah, that's true, man.
Right?
Yeah.
Vibing with the current players, having that relationship. Probably was the same thing a little bit in recruiting.
I mean, how could it not be?
Right? If that's not a skill set that you have.
Yeah.
And it's showing that it's actually going the complete opposite way of where you wanted it to go on the field with your current players. Well, what do we know about Cory Raymond and Bo Davis and Blake Baker? What have we talked about with Blake Baker? Right? You have him on. It's just a different field. Like the communication and him being a part of it. Well, that's going to show up in recruiting as well. I hadn't even really thought about it, but
I never
makes
thought
a lot of sense.
No, it's a very good point. That somehow just kind of went unseen or unrecognized by us. So already you're getting immediate dividends for all the investment that you made in changing over this defensive staff. And look, I think the most immediate dividends will just come in the play this fall. Again, I can't shake this. Mizzou, pre-Baker, outside the top 100, immediately 33rd and 33rd when they got him. I see no reason why LSU shouldn't have like that. Why that shouldn't be the goal, is to be top 40. You're playing the same competition, and even though maybe like Mizzou was stronger in some spots and you were weaker in some spots, it's not like I can't sit here and accept that Mizzou was just like somehow like way more talented than you at the time. No.
Right.
So I think you'll see the most immediate dividends on the actual field come fall time, but you don't necessarily pay a D-line coach $1.5 million for his technique work, right? Or Cory Raymond for his technique work. That's great, and that's huge, massive part of it. But it's getting these players in here, man. And like Jake said, it's all about forming relationships. So massive win for Cory Raymond, this LSU staff, a validation of the investment in some ways. And look, there may be some new. I want to get into the baseball news as well next, but there may be some a new name entering the mix as 5-star Texas safety, or out of Texas, Jonah Williams is thought to be one of the next battlegrounds, Jake. He's a Galveston native.
Yeah.
And LSU and A&M are thought to be the major two players here. Here's a key piece, though, that we'll see factor in when we talk baseball next. He's interested in playing baseball and football. So what does the coaching change at A&M do to potentially affect that situation? Well, as we learned yesterday, it affected a couple other situations. We'll talk about it next here on Off the Bench.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Go to centralplumbing.org, centralplumbing.org, 925-8552, 925-8552 for all of your plumbing problems. It's all there at Central Plumbing. They've solved it for 50 years, guys. I mean, 50 years, 5 decades. You don't have. You hit them with a problem they can't handle. Okay, I don't care if you got a new house, old house, red house, blue house, whatever. Their lifespan insured, flat rate pricing, trust is coming to your home, great warranty coverage. It's your one-stop shop, centralplumbing.org.
Yeah, and not only in Central. It is Central Plumbing, and they can help you there. But in the entire Baton Rouge area, they can come in, they can help you out. Emergencies, or if you're looking to upgrade, they can be there. So we're talking to everyone in that Baton Rouge area. Give them a call today, 225-925-8552, or check out what they can do for you at your home or your business on their website at centralplumbing.org.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Bayou Ford has $10,000 off F-150, $10,000 off the new 2024 Ford F-150, and all new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Saban office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Saban have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to...
Matt Moscona inviting you to join us for Thursday's AFR. Final day from Radio Row at SEC Football Media Days. Arkansas, Auburn, Texas A&M, Kentucky all take their turns. We'll have it covered for you 3 to 6. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
I feel so close to you right now. It's a force field. I wear my heart up on my sleeve like a big deal.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to OTB here live at SEC Media Days. Just breaking down the big DJ Picket news. As in case you missed it, 5-star, #1 corner in the entire nation. Number 3 player overall. Commits to LSU, picks them over Oregon, and who was it in the chat said, "Oh man, how did we outbid Oregon?" And I don't think
with
that
our trophies.
I would say this. I mean, I don't think that you have to necessarily outbid. I think you have to be competitive with the offer.
Just like anything, like in free agency and professional sports. Just because the Raiders offer you the most money doesn't mean you always go to the Raiders.
Exactly, right. And with how much they let's not be naive here, right? I'm sure big money is involved here. But I guess the point of it is that's just at this point, Jake, kind of a it's how am I trying to say this? It's like an understood. Like it's not like you just kind of, that's the base level of expectation.
Yeah.
Is that there's going to be big money involved. So it's almost not even exciting anymore. It's like, okay, everybody's offering me the money. Well, what else do you have? And so maybe you were competitive with Oregon. Who knows how much more they're less. But like the bottom line is that the Cory Raymond factor. When he visited LSU, how much he said he enjoyed Baton Rouge and everything else. That's why he ends up committing to the Tigers and will hopefully be at the center of a DBU rebuild.
Like depending on which service you look at, so I know everybody's got a little bit different. You could do the composite, but I'm just saying of the 4 major services, you have I think it's 7 players, that are in somebody's top 50 overall. Yeah. Right now, it's not going to be all of them, but you have 7 players right now in this recruiting class that are in someone of, On 3, 247, ESPN or Rivals, 7 players in somebody's top 50.
Yeah, I mean, it's the best. I don't know if I'm exaggerating here. Well, because I don't follow recruiting super, super close, but this feels like the best with 17 commits. It feels like the best 17 commits that I've ever seen. Like, I'm not used to seeing LSU with 3 5-stars. On the that's normally this type of stuff that's reserved for your Georgias, your Ohio States, your Alabamas, and then LSU just has like a ton of 4-stars, and they're to borderline top 5. But right now, they're consensus top 5 and have a lot of players that are considered to be the best in the entire country. So it's another bad day for the Brian Kelly can't recruit crowd, as he continues to prove in spades that he is quite the adept recruiter. So I mentioned, though, Jake, going into break there, a safety out of Texas, 5-star, Jonah Williams, going to be the next battlegrounds. He's between LSU and A&M, but he wants to play baseball and football. Gotta wonder if A&M's baseball situation changed this, because a couple of pieces of news from yesterday, LSU flips 2 Texas A&M recruits. First one's a 6'4" lefty, Cooper Williams, number 70 ranked player in the country, so top 75 player. Number 12 ranked left-handed pitcher. LSU went from having all the lefties in the world to kind of having no lefties now. And so, that gives Cooper a little added value. And even more excitingly, they flipped Ethan Kloss, an infielder from Las Vegas, who's a number 42 overall prospect. Oh, and Bear Jones has come back.
Yep.
Great day for LSU baseball. And now Jay Johnson and Brian Kelly can maybe even team up and get themselves a 5-star safety as well.
So for the baseball portion of it, it's just day after day, it feels like you're getting massive news from Jay Johnson and what he's able to do, and not only through the transfer portal, but his players that he's retaining it and not going into the draft, and then the high school players. And obviously we've talked about it, but the high school players, we're not just talking about one, we're talking about probably 3 top 100 guys that he's gotten to take their name out of the draft and come to campus. There's going to be high expectation, because there always is, because it's LSU baseball, but I'm excited just to kind of, once we get back, hit reset and start to maybe put some of the pieces in place of
it's a little overwhelming.
There's a lot.
There's been a lot of turnover. And to be frank, in a lot of spots, you don't really – there's a lot of names that you could potentially see being there. Right, third base, there's a lot of guys that will be up for that.
You think Hunt has a board in his man cave with red yarn where he has the names and he's trying to
I would, only that I think Hunt is so obsessive that it literally is all stored inside his brain. I don't even think he needs the conspiratorial yarn board to keep track of it all.
It's fair.
But yeah, and I mean, look, Jared Jones coming back, man. I didn't want to allow myself to really engage with it or think about it until the news became official. But what is the potential of this cat next year, Jake? To go from 14 home runs freshman year to 28 the next year, to become a significantly better hitter for average, and really peaking at the best time. Finishing that Chapel Hill Regional 7 of 13 with 2 home runs and 9 walks. Is he a 30-plus home run guy next year? And it's his lineup. Yeah. Jay Johnson said it's his lineup.
So, yes, he absolutely can be. The thing's going to have to be, you find protection for Bear Jones. Who's going to be the major protection for him, like Tommy White was this year?
Yeah.
Right? Tommy White was that guy. And you go back to 2 years ago when you won a national championship, right? Dylan Cruz had protection. He had guys that were going to go out there and be professional baseball players. So, who the protection's going to be for Bear Jones, because you mentioned it already. Even with Tommy White, he had 9 walks in 1 regional. Teams weren't pitching to him in the end. Now, he did a great job of not chasing, and that's part of that discipline that we're talking about. But who's going to protect him? You're going to have some candidates. There's no doubt about that. Which one of these guys is going to be able to step up? Because for the first 3 weeks of the season, until other teams figure out who that protection is, he's probably not going to get a lot to hit.
Yeah. It's you got to feel great that obviously you got Brazel come back as well. His bat was pretty. Not that they necessarily represent the protection that you're talking about, but just in terms of solid bats in the lineup. I mean, Monster Milam, who knows how good he could be offensively next year, given the form that he finished in. Brazel, same thing. Really, every transfer you brought in, Jake, seemed to be guys with a lot of pop. And very high average. Now, granted, for a lot of them, it's on lower levels, so you got to see who translates. But it's the classic thing that we keep talking about with a lot of LSU football position groups, where you brought in so many guys that are talented that you throw them against the wall, and I just can't fathom that you're not gonna put together a really good offensive line, and I can't fathom that you're not going to put together a great staff, which, to be fair, would have said the exact same thing last year. Yeah. And while it ended up kind of actually being a great staff statistically the second half of the season, I think we can give them that title overall. But I mean, with
still a lot of unknowns in the staff. This year, you have talent. Well, I don't think there's any denying that, but you still have to find a lot of things out. You don't have someone necessarily that's done it for multiple years in college.
That's true. I really
like
I'm really just like pumped on Chase Shores, but I mean, to be fair to your point, like he is still an unknown.
Coming back from a year-long injury.
Yeah.
Those are things that I think LSU has to figure out. It might be a younger staff, and depending on, I guess, how some of the draft stuff was going to work out. Like Jay obviously knew that there was going to be some youth on the mound there, but who's going to be the veteran guy? Who's going to be the guy that you can kind of count on every single weekend? It might not be Friday. It might not be Saturday. Maybe it's a Sunday guy, but you know you can count on him to give you something that looks consistent.
Champ, our resident baseball expert. Come on, I'm being nice there, guy. He says potential 30 home runs and 60 Ks or less, maybe a 500 on base percentage. Saying he had 76 Ks and 59 walks. I'd like to see the numbers flip. Yeah, that's when anytime that's when you have achieved nirvana, I believe, as a hitter, is when you are walking more than you are striking out. Yeah. And if you were to look at Jared Jones, I would love to look at what his freshman strikeout to walk ratio was, because I'm sure it was probably like 75-25, and then last year it ends up being about 50-50. And, yeah, maybe he can, like you said, flip those numbers, and then how do you stop Jared Jones? Bear, Season 3. Very excited for it.
Hunt Palmer says it is stored.
Yeah. No need for conspiratorial yarn boards. Jake, when we get back, I want to pick your brain about what goes on the 5th floor, just all the cool people you got to talk to and who stood out to you from yesterday's SEC Media Days. There was Texas and all other sorts of stuff.
What just happened? You were like, Bear, Season 3.
Yeah, Bear Jones.
Oh, sorry. I wasn't listening to what you were talking about before, and I was like, are you about to start talking? I got so confused.
No, I still got to watch Season 2, dude.
I got so confused. I was like, is he about to talk about the Bear? And then, I don't know, you took a turn.
That little main actor in the Bear, he's a good-looking dude.
Rat Boy season.
What?
You don't know about that?
No.
Do you know what that means, Jake?
Do you know what Rat Boy season means?
Actors that kind of have a
look like a rat.
radish look that all the women are loving.
Like Barry Keoghan, the guy from Saltburn?
He does kind of, definitely the Bear guy.
If you look it up, there's a lot of guys that people have tossed into the Rat Boy.
The Bear guy definitely has a radish look. I don't know if I feel it with Keoghan, but I'll keep an open mind. Did you see Sabrina Carpenter talk? Oh, you showed me that with Keoghan. Yeah. Jeez. Sheesh. To be a fly on the wall. All right, when we get back, let's get into what. Let's recap some of yesterday's SEC Media Days down in Dallas. Keep it locked here on Off the Bench.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Go to All-Star Toyota of BatonRouge.com, All-Star Toyota of BatonRouge.com. You want to buy a new vehicle, maybe you want a Toyota certified used vehicle, maybe you need a rent, go to All-Star, man. They're great. They're off of Airline in Goodwood, very conveniently located. If you need a body shop or a service center, it's free professional estimates. It's all makes and models are welcome. Again, it's got all your car needs under one roof. The staff to the best people. All-Star Toyota of Baton Rouge.
Yeah, go to the website today to check out what you can buy new, what you can lease, and always what you can rent. Everything is available. So multiple midsize SUVs, multiple trucks, Sienna minivan, sedans, hybrids, they've got it all. And if you want to get one last vacation in here before we get to August, remember you can always call Miss Lisa Sessions in the rental department, get that rental reserved, and you can find out all that information on the website, allstartoyota.BatonRouge.com.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
Farming is a way of life for us. It's not something we get up in the morning and dread going do. It's just something we go to bed at night looking forward to getting up to go do. John Deere equipment is what we as farmers strive to have. So it's in your blood, it's in your veins. It's just a part of who you are. Green is what we want to be in. The other tractors were acquired to patch it up to get to where you want to be, where we want to be.
Join me for a Thursday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show presented by Rouse's. Luke Johnson joins us from out in California at Saints Camp. Arkansas, Texas A&M, whoop! Auburn, and Kentucky wrap things up from SEC Media Days. Hunt Palmer Show, 1 to 3 weekdays, 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Baby, this is what you came for. Lightning strikes every time she moves. And everybody's watching her.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
What up, y'all? Welcome back. OTB. Fonza, speaking of Chase Shores and mic'd up last night, Coach Jay said if they made it out of North Carolina, he was going to be in the rotation. I know. It's one of the many tantalizing things that you were just 2 outs away from, only to never to not get it. And a huge thank you to Alondra Villarreal, our excellent producer. Bear Jones, 69 Ks, 36 walks, freshman year. So about 33%, about a third of the time, 2/3 of the time striking out, 1/3 walking, then almost 50-50. And so now if you could get to, where it's 2/3 walks to 1/3 strikeouts, well, then you'll be completely unstoppable and nobody will be able to touch you. All right, Jake, yesterday, SC Media Days, Texas's big day in Alabama. But, it's crazy, man. Again, I'm not trying to poo-poo anything, but it kind of remains a headline-free sort of SEC Media Days thus far. But what stood out, but I know in the serious tent, y'all get people, y'all get everybody, all the coaches, all the players come through all day long. Did anybody stand out to you yesterday?
Steve Sarkeesian again. He's ready for all of this. I think his experience, obviously at Alabama, but just in the NFL, like for every situation, it feels like he has a really good answer. Even like the helmet communication stuff. Like that's not something we've talked a lot about until recently, and sure, his time in the NFL is going to help him for that, but also his offense. Like when you think about what Texas is and who they are offensively, there are a lot of motions and shifts and different formations. It's more of a pro model, certainly as far as pre-snap stuff, and I'm not just talking about like jet sweep motion, no, I mean like true NFL. Let's line up in trips, shift, get to something completely different, maybe some kind of an offset formation. Here comes a motion across the formation. Like, they do a lot of that, right?
Yeah.
So, like, helmet comms for them, it's going to be huge. They can get all that verbiage in a muddle huddle, and they don't have to have 97 cards on the sideline. Like, they'll have that probably, for certain positions, but he just talked about how much that's going to help them and also the tablets and him having experience with that, talking with the quarterback. He gave a great story. Rich Gannon, great Rich Gannon playing for Oakland.
Tongue out the side of the mouth, winning MVP.
Like 2005 or 4, maybe somewhere around there. And Rich Gannon's like 38, 39 years old, and he's like, I was like 20-something, but I was the quarterback coach, and Norv Turner was the head coach for the Raiders.
That's so weird.
And Norv called the plays, but Norv, and he was like this in San Diego, he never liked talking to the quarterback in the helmet. He always gave that responsibility to somebody else. And San Diego was actually Charlie Whitehurst, quarterback. But it was Sarkeesian for Oakland, and he's like, the first time I get on there, I'm giving him everything in the helmet comm before he gets to 15. He said after the first series, Rich Gannon comes over to me. He goes, hey, would you shut the F up? He's like, you're throwing way too much. He goes, I've prepared. I'm good. And so he said, like, I didn't always know how to use it. He said, but over time, you understand it's a quick little something like a last-minute reminder, hey, tell the back, look for corner cat. Just little things. And I think him having that experience and not giving too much information because he's been through it, like those things will pay off. And so it just feels like Texas for so long wasn't ready, but they got somebody that, for whatever reason, like Sark fits what they're trying to get done, which they were trying to get done for so long. He was impressive to me because, the other coaches, Kalen was okay. You're going to get the same Billy Napier every single time.
It's so funny. Real quick, Alondra and Taylor, there's a Steve Sarkeesian on Texas in the SEC clip. Have that ready to play in a minute. But it's so funny you describe DeBoer being okay because he doesn't have a lot of charisma in these situations. And it's not like he's not actively bad either. It's not like he's fumbling where he's very confident, very smooth, very kind, smile on his face. But it's not like when I listen to Kirby Smart do these things, I'm like locked in.
Yeah.
And I'm like really like, and I'm like paying attention. It's crazy that DeBoer is so great at his job, and yet it doesn't feel obvious if you were just to watch him in a press conference scenario.
Yeah, it's just completely different. And Kalen's never. It's just even at Washington, like national championship game, right?
Yeah.
I was fortunate enough to be assigned to them, and I'm sitting there, and you're talking with him, and it never changes. It didn't change from the first time I had him to a national championship game, and so that's just who he is. That's who he's going to be, and Alabama fans will learn that it's just completely different than the guy we've had. So again, it's not bad. It's smooth. It makes a lot of sense. He's not fumbling on his words. Like
he's confident.
Billy Napier's not going to give you anything. Billy's just not going to give you anything.
No,
he's going to be the same. It's going to be the same monotone delivery with a little bit of drawl at the end of it.
Yeah, he's got that slow molasses pace too to how he talks. Somebody said, I think Taylor, you obviously have a take here. I believe you're the one who typed this into the document earlier. You said thoughts on Sunbelt Billy didn't seem very inspired.
He was just boring. Like he was hitching his wagon to the Graham Mertz cart, and I understand that Mertz was good, but like, give yourself a little bit of confidence. Like he acted like he was all down and out because their schedule's tough. You only got about 6 questions related to the schedule, but I don't know. I didn't like it. It was kind of bad vibes.
He did kind of have a little bit of a hangdog vibe to him.
Graham Mertz was great.
Was he really?
Yeah, he was really good. He's
Graham
big.
Mertz,
He's a big kid.
Look,
I didn't realize he was that big.
I'll say this. I make fun of Graham Mertz because, like, it became such a funny Florida thing last year to be like, but Graham Mertz, like everybody, but Graham Mertz, that's kind of good. Because the numbers were good, but they didn't really translate. But if that's the base that he's coming from, then a whole nother year in the system, yeah, he could actually be a great quarterback this year.
I'm just trying to think, like he asked me, like everybody that kind of came through. So when Quinn Ewers came through, he was good.
He seems really confident in all the clips I've seen.
Yeah, he was. He was good and confident.
Like compared to the Quinn of 2 years ago, that was bamboozled
he
on
talked
that
about
TCU sideline.
Yeah.
Like it's doesn't even look like the same guy.
Yeah, he had some fun with us. He was talking about cutting his hair and doing the whole deal like we talked about last year. This man, Cole, who just walked by, he's asked him about the NCAA video game. He's like, are you going to sub in the backup quarterback or are you going to play with the starter? I'm like,
oof. He asked him an Arch question?
Yes.
It's a little distasteful.
Bro, I was like, brother, in front of his coach and everything?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. And
but he had a great answer. I forget what he said. Something like, why would I take the starter out when he's throwing dimes or something like that.
Well, I mean, look, he's not threatened by Arch Manning.
No. You could tell that.
Clearly the guy.
So that picture that went around in New Orleans at the Sugar Bowl, where it's just Quinn Ewers and it's Arch Manning over there and everybody's around him. Like, I was with them on that trip. That didn't bother him because the picture didn't tell the story either. Like, Quinn had done all of the interviews, and Arch has never been available. He's a freshman, and he's in his hometown.
And it's New Orleans.
So then they went over there, but even that, he didn't care. It doesn't bother him. What you have to have.
He's pretty cool, man. He really does.
You have to have that to be, I think, a high level quarterback.
He seems very even keel in how he carries himself.
Levy was good. Mississippi State.
God, what a
great energy.
What a marble block of a man.
Yeah,
I think I might have called. I think I might have called us like me and him calling us fat boys earlier or something, or I kind of thought he was chubby. He's not chubby. He is just solidly built. He's like Wes Neighbors, but just way taller.
Yeah. Didn't get as much from the players from State. Didn't get as much.
Bruh.
Blake Shapen was not bad, the quarterback, but
it blows my mind. So that cat we talked to yesterday is very nice, but he has never played. He has 20-something tackles to his name.
Yeah.
And he has that chain.
Yeah.
When
I don't know if I said this on air or not. I know I said it to you.
What? Everybody's just getting paid, even if you suck.
When I said my rookie NFL minimum, which was $285,000, he kind of smacked his lips at it.
God, that's crazy. I mean, good for him, but
but I was like, wait,
that's crazy.
That's not a lot to you.
It's kind of a tough interview. All right, look, let's do this. Let's get a final answer from Jake. Is Texas ready next year? Where does he rank him? We'll play some Sark sound as well. Keep it locked right here on Off the Bench.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
K2Z window coverings, K2ZWindows.com or K2ZBlinds.com. It's KTOZ. And bring your home to the next level. Make it all work. Bring it all together. Jake did this at his house. They come out, they install those drop-down shades outside. And again, because K2Z's been in this game for so long and they fully understand the science of everything, right, and the functionality and exactly how the sun interacts with your home at every given part of the day, not only can Jake now be grilling and chilling on his Blackstone with it being a little bit cooler, but shade for the interior of his house. Baby Harlow, able to sleep in the living room, cool off the house, save money. I mean, the benefits are both aesthetic and functional, financial. They are many. Go to K2Z Windows, KTOZBlinds.com.
Yeah, go there today. Schedule that consultation because you've probably been thinking about, adding something, right? Drapes and blackout curtains, whatever it might be. But the thing that they're going to do is come in and they're going to see your space, and you kind of tell them, hey, I was thinking I'd get this because of that, and they'll know, well, this is exactly what you need. And they're going to know that literally in 5 minutes. And so go to the website, get that consultation set up, K2ZBlinds.com.
Get the 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge app powered by Bayou Ford and tap the microphone icon to send us your thoughts in an audio message. Your message could be played on air during Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob, The Hunt Palmer Show, and after further review with Matt Moscone.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner MD Anderson Cancer Center. Long live you.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs, even in the case of an after-hours emergency. The light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local.
Matt Moscona inviting you to join us for Thursday's AFR. Final day from Radio Row at SEC Football Media Days. Arkansas, Auburn, Texas A&M, Kentucky all take their turns. We'll have it covered for you 3 to 6. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Yo, what's happening, y'all? Welcome back. Hour number 2. Is that true? Is it true? That's not true. It's the end of hour number 1.
Almost.
I lost myself when I went and had a nice little, cinnamon roll type thing. That was tasty.
You got a little
Sweet
jolt?
treat. Yeah, a little sweet treat.
Did you see me come back with it?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I saw you eyeing it.
Well, I've been so normally I do the intermittent fasting thing, and especially here, I've been eating trying to eat real light during the day, so I feel confident and light on my feet. And we're doing all these talking to people stuff, but that's done.
It's the last day.
That's done. The second we get done here, I'm probably ordering room service to the room. I'm gonna feast, get ready for this flight. I cannot wait to be home. But it's been a lot of fun. I do want to thank the wonderful sponsors. Our coverage of SC Media Days 2024 brought to you by Parish Construction Roofing. Visit parishbuild.com. Also by Red Business Relief Windows. Taylor, go ahead and play that Steve Sarkeesian sound on Texas being in the SEC.
As far as our transition in the Southeastern Conference, I think the key word is respect. We have a ton of respect for this conference. We have a ton of respect for the teams, the coaches, the players, and the fans. This is the elite conference in college football, and we're fortunate enough to be part of it. And we won't do anything without having a level of respect of who we play, where we're playing them, the types of players that they have, the coaching that they have. And I think on the flip side of that, we have to go earn their respect. We're not going to get anything in this deal. Nothing's going to be free, okay? We're going to have to go earn the respect of our opponents, the opposing coaches, the opposing fans, and that's going to be kind of on the forefront of what we do. But the beauty of this conference is really the pageantry. I've been fortunate enough to have spent 3 years in the Southeastern Conference. The pageantry of the games, the stadiums that you get to play against, the iconic programs, that's the beauty of the Southeastern Conference. And the fact that we get to be part of it now, it's finally here, is pretty exciting. It's just a great opportunity.
Look, man, that sounds like a man who has finally broken through. How Steve Sarkeesian's carrying himself, the confidence with which he speaks. Think about it, Jake, because with Sark, I mean, he had a lot of head coaching experience and nary a 10-win season to be found.
Yeah.
He had some good accomplishments. He had made improvements. I mean, I think Washington was better than when he took over. So, he'd had some wins in his career, but he also had some real low lows. And now, finally, after an entire adult career of trying to break through, he breaks through last year, and it would appear that they're probably here to stay. Is it them in Georgia? For you? Is that solidified here as we sit at the end of media days?
Yes.
I'm
Now,
sorry to set you up when we have like 30 seconds left.
That's true. Would I be surprised if it was somebody else? No. But, yeah, as we currently sit here, I think those are the two teams. I think both are really talented. I think both are extremely well coached. And, I think Texas did exactly what they had to do, building the line of scrimmage and all those things heading into the SEC to be ready for this year. It started last year. They went to Tuscaloosa and bullied the bully. And now I think it's going to continue to parlay into continued success.
All right, coming up in hour number 2, we're going to talk a little Arkansas with John Neighbors. We got our guy Bill Lucci coming in from Texas. We got Caroline Fenton off of her birthday last night. Keep it locked here on OTB.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Go to RejuveMeMedical.com. Restore me, refuel me, rejuve me. You want to feel younger, bigger, faster, stronger, better, fight the effects of untreated age. You got andropause, menopause, facial age, mood problems, insomnia, all this and more. All treatable at Rejuve Me. And it's not a one-size-fits-all plan. The first step is the free professional estimate, in which you get your labs drawn, and the information therein is their guide to put together a treatment for you. So go check them out today, Rejuve Medical.
Yeah, go to the website, get your consultation set up, and even if you don't know what you're dealing with, but you know something is off, they can help you get to the bottom of it. You can go in, get your blood drawn, and it can be a list of things, actually. When you go to the website, we tell you all the time, right? Long list of things that you could be going through. They are going to get you on a path for success, get you back to feeling like your youthful self. So go to the website, RejuveMeMedical.com, RejuveMeMedical.com.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is taking $20,000 off new 23 Ram 1500 trucks. We're open for business in our beautiful new showroom and taking $20,000 off the powerful Ram truck. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our number one product is always customer satisfaction. Visit us online at reliefwindows.com. Oh, by the way, we do shutters too.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared toward seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
Farming is a way of life for us. It's not something we get up in the morning and dread going do. It's just something we go to bed at night looking forward to getting up to go do. John Deere equipment is what we as farmers strive to have. So it's in your blood, it's in your veins. It's just a part of who you are. Green is what we want to be in. The other tractors were acquired to patch it up to get to where you want to be. Where we want to be is in John Deere. Flip the switch and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Saban office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Saban have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Good morning. It's 8 a.m. here on Thursday, July 18th. Today in Baton Rouge, you can expect rainy skies with a high of 91. In hour 2 of today's show, we are wall-to-wall with interviews as John Neighbors is going to hop on at 8 a.m. Then a little bit later in the show, Billy Lucci and Caroline Fenton. You can follow us on Twitter or Instagram at OTB_ESPN and watch us on YouTube at the 1045 ESPN channel. Hour number 2 of Off the Bench, live from Dallas, Texas at the 2024 SEC Media Days, starts now.
Let we go! All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah!
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Hey, P, they said I got to come off the bench.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Yo, yo, yo.
Yo, what's going on, yo? Welcome back to OTB. Hour number 2, live from SEC Media Day. And right now, it is my pleasure to be joined by Arkansas's finest, John Neighbors here, good friend of the show, the man who has had NCAA 25 set up here in Media Days the entire week. I have purposely not touched it, because I don't want my first experience. I got to be able to sit down and really bask in it whenever I get my first experience with it later on, but I am jealous of you. Also,
you said he'd have it here, though. We talked about it weeks ago.
Yeah, I called it, dude. I told you would, dude. And he did not disappoint me, because you used to have – I remember one of my first memories of ever meeting you was when you had the was it 14?
Yeah.
They had hooked up in Hoover a few years ago.
Yeah, it was in 2019, I think, is when it did it. But, yeah, the video game was 2014. Coolest moment, though, for me was Brad Nessler was there. And I got a picture with him holding the game because, he was on the game. And I'm like, man, this is the childhood of, just growing up and buying every year. It's like I got to keep the tradition going now, I guess. I'm going to be expected to bring it every year. I got to do it. Got to keep doing it.
You're killing it. You're also at the 4 of the karaoke crew. We had a lot of fun last night. You and Gordy killing Shaggy, per usual, crowd going crazy.
I always appreciate the videos.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I'm sitting in bed while y'all are out singing, but I do appreciate Barrett keeping us up to date.
I mean, bro, I'm not going to lie. We were just kind of talking off air. I'm very proud of all of us. This is the first time I've ever been to SC Media Days where I haven't been hungover any day. I got in bed at midnight every single day this week. And, I mean, there's been days here where I feel like I'm fighting for my life. I've seen you, John, at times where, I think there was one day in particular with you. I've been like, I've been there. I've been there. You legitimately feel as if you're trying to just survive.
Yes.
Survive the day.
I think that was Nashville last year was pretty.
That's what it
fun.
was. Okay, I was thinking it was last year. Yes.
Yeah. Last year, man, it looked. I got tore up from the floor up on occasion, and I was just like, man, I was having to come in here and just grind through it all. But no, this year's been okay though. I'm kind of the same way. I'm like, I don't know if it's the Dallas vibe, and maybe that's what's calmed me down a little bit or whatever, but. Yeah, listen, we're in final day, so we made it.
Final day, we've made it. Arkansas on the docket today, and it's tough, man. Obviously, Arkansas is incredible at all sports outside of football. For whatever reason, football seems to be the kind of bugaboo. It's a weird year because like Sam Pittman, Petrino's there. Like what are the fans' expectations for this year?
Well, I can tell you this. I have not seen in at least the past 15, maybe even 20 years, Razorback fans being less excited about a football season.
I was going to say, because it feels like a perfect recipe for apathy.
Right, because even in the Chad Morris years where it was just trash.
But
it was just, we try to forget about it too. But it was like just 2 seasons, and, there was like, oh, he went 2-10 the first year. Well, maybe there'll be some improvement. So there at least was, and he had a great recruiting class that year. So even then there was at least a little bit. But like this year, every time I post something football related, like being here at Media Days, talked about, hey, like Arkansas and LSU or Arkansas and Ole Miss and everything. People are like, whatever, I don't care. When's basketball season? Like, people just don't care, and it's kind of sad.
I even think about Coach Cal. That adds to probably the rush to get the basketball season. I don't feel like I know this Arkansas football team. Like, I know the names. I can look at the depth chart, but I just don't feel like I know a lot of the names. I mean, what are some of the names to pay attention to?
Well, of course, Taylon Green's going to be here, the quarterback. He's transferred from Boise State, and I really like him. Now, I don't know how good he's going to be, but when Bobby Petrino, which is, man, we could spend a whole show talking about him being back, but when Bobby Petrino came on as offense coordinator, Sam Pittman said, hey, go get your quarterback. Mm-hmm. If you like a guy that we have on our roster now, that's great, but go get handpick your quarterback. And that's the one Bobby wanted. He loved him when he was recruiting him out of high school.
Okay.
And that's who he wanted is Taylon Green. So I really like him. He's big. You're going to see him. He's about 6'5", 6'6". Got some athleticism to him. He's got cannon for an arm. And I think he'll be really good in the system with Petrino. But honestly, the two players that kind of are on the offense, but I really want everyone to watch is got a glimpse of him a little bit last year, but he got hurt with breaking his collarbone. Is Luke Haas, the tight end.
Yeah.
Like he was a true freshman last year, and I know LSU fans remember him. He had a big game down there in Baton Rouge. But he's got all the makings for a Mackey Award winner. And the other one is the transfer running back from Utah, Jaquindon Jackson. He's a guy, when I saw him in spring practices, just looking at him, I'm like, dude, this guy, he looks mean. He looks like a guy you wouldn't want to be like in a fight with because he'll do some dirty stuff to you. So, I'd say those two guys, though, for sure.
First team off the bus type of guy.
Yeah.
What about, okay, so let's talk about Petrino then. Because
Please.
It's one of the funnier stories I think I've ever seen outside.
I just don't know that I know another example of it.
No, it might be unprecedented. It's a good point. Do you feel like Sam Pittman hiring not his long-term replacement, but like his interim replacement? Like it had to feel so odd for Pittman to make that move.
It's still sometimes so surreal. If it wasn't for the John Calipari hire, I would have said it was the most shocking hire in Razorback history. Like just to see him back.
I'm glad for the Hog fans and that Calipari came.
Oh yeah, it's just so crazy. Like and seeing him out there in practice with Razorback gear on and hearing him, in the press conference, Taylon Green's doing a great job. He's doing a great job throwing the ball. It's like this is so surreal seeing it. But
when you think back to the original Petrino era, is that like some of the most fond Arkansas football memories that you have?
Yes,
Yeah.
without question. I mean, the offenses were so much fun to watch, and there's so many great games. Arkansas went to their only BCS bowl game that year in the Sugar Bowl. So yeah, very fond memories. But it is a weird deal because that was the only hire that Arkansas could have made while keeping Sam Pittman on as head coach to have any sort of excitement for the Razorback fans. Yeah. And him coming on, it does give a thing where people keep bringing up. It's like, well, what if Arkansas starts 2-4 heading into the bye week before LSU? Do they maybe Pittman step down, then Petrino becomes the head coach? I don't really know, but I know that Petrino doesn't want to be a head coach anymore. He doesn't want to deal with the NIL era and stuff. He just wants to coach quarterbacks.
Kelly, dude.
Yeah, he just wants to coach quarterbacks, coach offense, and that's pretty much it. But here's the thing with Petrino being back, what it provides for Razorback fans and why they're so excited. Are they expecting the days of old with Ryan Mallett, rest in peace, Tyler Wilson, those guys? No. But it's going to provide at least a little bit of closure because they felt like, hey, you went 20
That's true. What a brutal way for it all to end.
He went 21-5 in 2 seasons, 10-3, 11-2. Yeah. And it came to an end. And Arkansas has not even been close to the same.
I've never really thought about it from that perspective. That is actually heartbreaking as an Arkansas football fan.
Yeah.
You get your two rivals though, LSU and Texas. Home games. I mean, like Texas, Arkansas. I know that they don't like LSU very much, but I think they hate Texas even more.
Wait, I heard. I didn't get to listen to the clip, but I saw some headlines that I can't even Sark was like being a little flippant yesterday, talking a little trash.
Texas players, 2 of the 3 mentioned it with us upstairs.
Yeah. I think the quote was something was like, Arkansas fans hate us more than they love themselves. I think is what it is. And I'm like, you know what? I agree. I agree because that's like Arkansas just hates everybody. They just they hate themselves too, but it's like they hate everybody. But no, it's great to have that back. And Arkansas, as we all know, we've talked about it, but they have little bitty rivals. But LSU's main rival's not Arkansas. I mean, it's not.
LSU doesn't really have a rival. We've talked about it pretty often.
Yeah, it's like, but I was like, I just need Razorback fans just embrace hating everybody equally, and that way you don't need a rival.
I mean, look, I hate Arkansas. It's the only team. It's still the wildest statistic I feel like from my playing days is that is the only team that we had a losing record against in 5 years. Went 2-3 against the Hogs. Even Alabama ended up being 3-3. Would have been 3-2, but then we lost in the Natty. They just always had some. And they were really good at the time too. Obviously, I mean that was when they were.
Hey,
in their
Houston
prime.
Dale Nuts, some respect, sir.
Yeah,
I got that wood, man.
Where's What's Houston not doing nowadays?
TV.
Is he still on TV? Okay.
I think so. Yeah, for CBS, I think. Something like that. Yeah.
So what was the reaction with the Calipari news? Since we never get to talk to any Arkansas basketball here.
That's something that I still can't get over. I will never forget it. It was a Sunday night. I'm at the office and I'm kind of just doing some stuff for the week, and then I've been hearing for a few days at Cal. I'm like, what? I just didn't even pay attention. I'm like, that's so stupid. That's not happening. But then I had a friend of mine who was in the media, Wes Moore, in Arkansas. He tweeted it out. I'm like, okay, this guy does not tweet out stuff like that unless he's got some. So I texted him, are you sure about this?
Right.
And he was like, man, I confirmed it with my sources and everything. And I was like, all right. So I was like, well, I'm going to go live because that's what people want. They just want to go and find out the info.
Live work, by the way.
No, thanks, man.
I feel like
it's fun.
It's always popping off when I see it on Twitter and everything.
Yeah.
And y'all do it for like the watch parties for the basketball games.
Yeah,
and everything.
stuff like that. It's a lot of fun. But yeah, we went live, and I mean, we just kept talking about, like, this just doesn't seem real.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem real. And I was like, I had to delete a lot of tweets about it because I hated John Calipari, man. I had to delete so many
Went
tweets.
to your profile search, Cal, yeah.
Oh, yeah. And it was funny. I was talking to former Razorback Blake Edens, and because Joe Johnson came to the press conference.
Oh, yeah.
And I was talking to both of them, and they're like, yeah, we had to do the same thing. So I was like, it's just someone you hated. And then he comes in, you're like, you know what? I've always liked that guy.
Yeah,
he's been a great coach.
Great coach.
Yeah, he
coach.
really loves his players, but it's hard to even wrap my head around. And seeing him in red also too is just weird because he's always been in blue.
So I don't want to go from such a positive to a negative.
That's fine. That's what we do at Arkansas.
But with the exit in baseball this year, after again such an incredible regular season, where's the head at? Where's the mental psyche of our Arky baseball fans at right now?
We're on the third floor, right? Do you think that jump over there would kill me right now? Yeah, I think that would hit me. Yeah, dude,
Maybe
it was
just high enough.
Man, here's the thing: is like with baseball, it's like Arkansas is a premier program. Like it's a great program. Dave Van Horn's a great coach. I mean,
LSU cannot beat them anymore.
But it's like they've won 20 SEC games in 4 of the last 6 seasons. Like that's insane. Yes, insane. But the problem is they're just not getting it done when it matters the most, which hurts. But what makes it exponentially worse is seeing Ole Miss win a title and Mississippi State win a title. And then Tennessee win a title. Yeah. You know, Patello being Dave Van Horn's like prodigy.
Yeah.
You know, the teacher getting beat out by the student. It makes it bad they're not winning, but when they see other teams that they feel like they're better than as a program winning it.
So you're saying like Vanderbilt, LSU, and Florida, like, you know, they've won them before.
Right.
Yeah,
and it's like, you know, and they're programs that have been around a long time. They've been established. They got Hall of Fame coaches. Like, no one wants to see LSU win, but it's like if LSU wins, hey, I mean, they've won like 18 titles, it seems like. So it's like it's part of it.
A garbage Ole Miss team found a way to win in that.
That didn't even like deserve to be in the thing. And then and to see that. And so it just makes it worse for that. But also looking back, of course, I hate to even bring this up too, but the 2018 pop-up foul ball, it makes it to be where that was it. That was the chance.
Yeah.
That was the only chance.
You know, it's probably, I think, the craziest stat in college sports right now, but just not enough people care about it. If Arkansas catches that ball, you're looking at 7 different SEC teams winning national championships in a row. Like that, there's no way that any other sport will ever emulate that.
Would it be 8 if they would have caught it?
No, I think we're at 6 of 7. I think that when we did it on our show, I think that's where we landed. I haven't looked it up.
See,
again
who's won
right
it?
now.
Because Florida, Vanderbilt, Ole Miss, Mississippi State, Tennessee, LSU. Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah. I mean, it's like,
I'm sorry, dude.
I know, but it's funny because it's like, and you guys probably remember this. There's 3 moments just in my lifetime that will always stand out for things like that. It's a pop-up foul ball. It's Reggie Fish in the end zone in the SEC championship game in 06.
Oh. Yeah.
And it's the Clint Stern over against Tennessee in 1998. Like those are just the moments that are always going to stand out and stick with them. And hey, I still don't know how Scotty Thurman shot in 1994 went in. Yeah. That's how Razorback fans like, how did that shot go in? At least they have the title of 94 basketball to hold on to. But man,
look, maybe Coach Cal's going to be the guy. And like Van Horn's got to break through eventually.
That's what we keep saying,
he's
man.
He's got to break through eventually.
He's so good. I mean, he had the pitching this year by Hagen Smith. It's just like, you got the pieces. You just got to figure it out. Like, you have any tips? LSU, you guys have won a bunch of times. What do you guys do? Like, I mean,
Jay Johnson. I don't know. Actually,
you're going to get Paul Skeens.
I was going to say, that helps. That probably helps.
Paul Skeens.
That helps.
If you get a generational Michael
Dylan
Jordan
Cruz.
talent, you might have a good
Easy.
shot.
Okay. I'll let Dave Van Horn know.
John Neighbors, host of John Neighbors Show, also locked on Hogs. John, thank you so much, brother.
Hey, it's always great.
Great job karaokeing last night as well.
I still got my Scott Stapp voice going on right now. So, I appreciate it, man.
When we get back, more Off the Bench.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Mike, that is my mic. Yeah. Community Steel Company, communitysteelco.com. All your steel needs are right over there in Gonzales, Louisiana. So if you need purlin, tubing, steel buildings, roofing, sheet metal, any sort of accessories, Community Steel's your one-stop shop, man. And they got it at the best prices, live and local sales team. They manufacture the product, okay? So straight from the wholesaler, they make the product. No middlemen jacking up the price of the back end. No national companies taking advantage of you because you don't have choices. The best, top to bottom, Community Steel Company. Oh, that's your mic. There we go.
CommunitySteelCo.com, top right corner, tell you every day because they're already there. Been there for an hour and 15 minutes already, waiting on you in Gonzales, Louisiana. Click on Community Steel on the website. Shows you exactly where they're located. Going to make sure all your steel needs are met. But if you can't get there today, that is okay in Louisiana. 225-647-2020 is the number. CommunitySteelCo.com.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Bayou Ford has $10,000 off F-150. $10,000 off the new 2024 Ford F-150. And all new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
BRAC teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. BRAC, your #1 park system in the nation.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood Subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
The best kept.
Join me for a Thursday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show presented by Rouse's. Luke Johnson joins us from out in California at Saints Camp. Arkansas, Texas A&M, whoop! Auburn and Kentucky wrap things up from SEC Media Days. Hunt Palmer Show, 1 to 3 weekdays, 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Love it. We're putting Roman Harper to work.
That is funny.
Rivers and Road teaming up for some on-site production. Road just went and chased down Billy Lucci
Rivers didn't do anything. Roman did.
Good job. Thank you, Road. You're the best on-site producer I've ever had.
Yeah.
And you're the only one that's allowed to come to my mechanical bowl when I have it.
Yeah.
And Billy's allowed too.
Hey, there was no chance that Billy wasn't going to come after
Billy's
Roman went and got
definitely
him.
allowed as
I
well.
mean, we sent our muscle after you.
Billy
Well,
TexAgs.com. What's happening, brother?
That felt like last night when I thought I was sneaking in after dinner to go straight up to bed and pull a Doring and Roman. Next thing I knew, it was.
I sent you a thank you text because you know TexAgs got us a wonderful dinner as well. It was awesome yesterday, and then I noticed this morning that I think the response came in about 3 a.m.
Did it really?
Yeah. I was like, okay. They went and tied one on.
Hey, he's soaring with the Eagles, though, right now.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
You've been soaring. It's all we
That's
talked about last night. So you got to do.
Yeah. I remembered before I went to bed, I was like, I'm pretty sure I told Mac and Cube I'd be on at 7:40, which goes against everything I stand for. You know what I do? I'm gonna be honest, have an honest moment with y'all since you guys.
Nobody, it's just us.
Yeah,
Just
and since y'all are both coming to A&M for the LSU game,
talking about that.
you're officially there.
Yeah.
But a lot of times when people ask me and they have a morning show and they schedule and they say, hey, can you come on? And if that number is before 8, my reply, because I don't want them to think I'm lazy, is, I'm on till College Station until 8:15.
Makes sense.
Never mind that our show doesn't start until 8.
Yeah, but nobody's ever going to know that's such a heady play. Or you're just like, I got production meetings that time. We got to get the TexAgs content pipeline ready to go.
Production meetings is always a good one.
Also, Billy, this trip has become my personal stylist. If you enjoyed my new jeans, which I need a belt for, they keep getting bigger and bigger. Maybe a little wash will tighten them up. But if you enjoyed my new jeans, new shirt, that was all thanks to Billy literally taking me to the mall, kind of showing me the ropes.
I bought this yesterday.
Trying on clothes, and
Feel
then he
these,
would
man.
like.
I know, man.
I would
Look.
step out. Oh, that feels wonderful.
Yep.
I would step out. He would step. He'd be like, well, yes, no, yes, and then it'd step back in. It was really fun. So thank you for that.
It was fun. It was a fun bro date.
Yeah.
To kind of kick off media days.
I agree. I agree. So what's up, dude? What are we? What you getting pumped for Elko and company to be here today?
Yeah, when you're at the end, it feels like, especially now we're sitting here early and it's not gotten crowded yet. It feels like the thing's over with.
I know.
Yeah.
It's a weird. Thursday's always weird.
But when it's the team you cover, like with LSU's coming in late, you also kind of feel like you're not going to hear anything. You're not going to. I think it's cool for the kids that are coming. He picked his 2 captains and then Shamar Turner, who was that close, I think, to going NFL.
Yeah.
And he came back. So this is like the NIL era. You're able to keep guys like Shamar Turner that probably would have been, I think, from scouts I talked to, like a 3rd, 4th round pick. So, he had people telling him probably he was going to be a second, and you know how that works.
Yeah,
so,
but he could make better money or as good of money, and then maybe increase his draft stock and get more money in the end.
So he's one of these guys that I think the D line's loaded with them. You think of Nick Scorton, Shamar Turner, Shamar Stewart, and they're like all 3 of those guys could play their way into being pretty high draft picks this year.
So me and Jake are actually pretty bullish on A&M. I think there's been a natural culling of the guys who kind of needed to be culled. Not because they weren't good, they're uber talented, but just from a culture standpoint, right? We love the Elko hire. It's a humble kind of blue-collar approach, and he's somebody who had a lot of success when he was at A&M. And then we love Tommy Moffett. We are biased. We're Moffett fanboys. I'm very unequivocal about he's my favorite coach that I've ever had in my life. What are you hearing? Because I will say this for Billy. When I've hung out with Billy this week, I've noticed this all the time. There is not a phone in this industry that gets a more steady stream of interesting information than this man right here.
Yep.
And so what's everybody saying about the early returns from Moffett and the strength and conditioning portion?
By the way, including a false injury report, Hester.
You told me that.
I didn't want to say
I felt bad
to
for
say
you.
it, but that thing wasn't said.
We'll just say this. I'll just say this since it wasn't him, but we're sitting there, quite literally in adjacent dressing rooms, and I get a call. And I go, oh man, and I hang up. I'm like, over the stall, like that wasn't good. And like what?
Yeah.
I think Nick Scorton injured and out for the
out for the year.
I'm like,
is
whoa.
what he was told.
By the time I could tell him that, I get a text. So the guy that called me didn't even have the the decency to call back. He texts back that, hey, I was dead ass wrong. It was a completely and not that it's a good thing, but it was a guy that's probably not going to play this year. And now everybody's going to go, who is it? But it was someone that I didn't foresee playing this season, and it wasn't a big
compared to one of your players you're counting on the most.
Yeah. You come and say it's Harold Perkins, and then it's a guy that
it's
most LSU fans are like, well, he wasn't going to play. Yeah.
Right. So again, though, so the phone is it's unreal how much phone's going off. So, like, you are tapped in. What are the players, coaches, what's everybody saying about Moffett?
Well, listen, first of all, Coach Elko, you guys would probably be the people that would be more excited to find out that you were a head coach and you were getting Tommy Moffett, and that's a short list after that because he doesn't usually get fired up, and he kind of told me what was going on and said, hey, he goes, I'm going to throw a name at you. I just want to hear your first reaction.
Yeah.
He goes, Tommy Moffett, and I just said, really?
Yeah.
Like, yeah. And he goes, yeah, that's what I was hoping. Not that it was, but he's like, that's what I'm hoping the reaction is from everybody. He goes, because that was mine. He was so fired up, and there was a connection there. He originally tried to get his Duke strength coach with him, and I think he was very grounded there at Duke with the family and ready to stay. Yeah, just like
normally strength coach and head coach, it could be like part and parcel.
Yeah, and I think he was just content, like, not to move. And that part of the country, I get it, and they had a young family. But there was a connection there between that coach and Tommy Moffett. Obviously, on some level, was they did a lot of similar things, and maybe I think actually, usually it's a protege of Moffett, but I think actually that was part of Tommy. These strength coaches have to stay current in some level, and I think they work together in some capacity. I don't know what it was.
And I'll say, Moffett's a warrior monk. Like, he's intelligent. He's not just meathead. Like, he's always staying up to date with the latest
Nothing
science.
wrong with
He's not calling people the love nerd.
That's what it was. Love nerd, yes. the most meathead. Love, you got a girlfriend, love nerd?
I was telling him.
Oh my God, I'm
Dan
so sad
Campbell,
I missed this.
Dan, Nagy was asking us about Leckler, and he said how crazy was he. I said it wasn't Leckler that was crazy. He was kind of the one that Dan gave the hardest time to.
Classic.
All the way down to the girl he ended up marrying. He started dating her, and Dan nicknamed him the love nerd because he skipped hanging out with us a couple times to go on dates.
Have a date.
So T-Bob is right.
Nerd.
It's so blunt. It's so uncreative. It's like the most simple muscle head.
But it's so perfect.
Yes.
Perfect. But so I don't think, Tommy Moffett is going back to that.
Are the players looking like big and strong?
They are, and I think today, like, you won't notice it as much with Torian York, but I do, because he was a freshman linebacker last year that was, freshman All-American. Like, he's going to be an outstanding player, I think, as soon as this season. But, man, like, he's one guy I really noticed. Those D linemen come in and you go, well, where I'm really noticing is the O linemen. They've lost a lot of their bellies, and it's way better distributed in one offseason. But more than that, it's just the guys coming in. I feel like they're starting to talk like you guys do now about him. They've already been like, man, it's game changer. It's night and day. If I said there was one problem with Jimbo that more than any that went under the radar, Jerry Schmidt left because he couldn't be the discipline enforcer. He couldn't set a culture because it wasn't backed up upstairs by the head guy. When you can't do that, you have no hope.
No.
And Elko's the opposite. And Elko, that's, I think, part of, like, I'm going to hire Tommy Moffett because he knows better than anyone in college football about establishing a culture and doing it. And so those two are in lockstep. I'd be interested to talk to Coach Moffett and just if you guys could talk to him and say, what's your working relationship here versus other situations? Because I bet it's outstanding for him, too.
Yeah, I would think so. I mean, for the most part, I know he's always been – him and Saban, they had a fascinating one. Now, this is back in the day when everybody was a little more old school.
Yeah.
But, Jake, wasn't it like basically Saban told him, like, look, you got to make them hate you?
Yeah.
And then I'll be kind of like not the good guy.
Not good cop, bad cop.
Yeah, but like a little bit of good cop, bad cop.
scarier sign if you are not an A&M fan and want them to stay down than hiring Tommy Moffett. So we'll see.
I'm going to say something you guys have said. I know you said it, and I think we've talked about it, but I know and Booger's talked about it a lot. I don't know what it is about y'all have said, and it's been true, that A&M, more often than not, they've had, to varying degrees, good enough players. And sometimes beyond good enough.
Absolutely.
But there's been something kind of lacking, and I'm talking about since they joined the SEC.
Yeah. Right.
And Texas A&M used to beat Texas because they had blue collar, roll your sleeves up and fight you.
Yes.
They used to beat LSU every year back when I was in college because they would go into Baton Rouge ready for a fight.
Yep.
Somewhere along the way, and people will say, oh, it's Coach Sumlin and Cliff and the spread. We know now that it's not that offense. You know, you look at Ole Miss is when a million teams.
You could be tough. You could be
but
tough
they
to run
didn't.
the spread.
But they didn't have an A&M generally since coming in. There's been a couple years of exceptions, but they have lacked that toughness and that win the game in the fourth quarter because you just know you are and things like that. And
you see
Tommy Moffett and Mike Elko, I think that combo right there is exactly what's missing. And, oh, by the way, watch Colin Klein play football.
Yeah.
That's the guy calling plays for you now, too.
Yeah.
I love
You've
that.
seen it in one-offs. We were talking about this game the other night, like when A-Chain went off on LSU, and they were like, hey, we're going to run the football. We're going to tell you where we're running it, and you're not going to stop it.
Yeah.
But they didn't do that enough. It was just that one game, and you'd see it 7 weeks, it'd disappear. One game, it'd come back.
Yep.
They got to get it in the totality of a season.
And again, so if the main problem was the culture, I think you made the right hires to change the culture. So we'll see. Notre Dame game's going to be fired.
Oh, huge opener.
Yeah, oh, my God.
Great
a
home
lot of juice
schedule
with
for
that
y'all,
one.
dude. Great home
Well,
schedule.
and if you look at it really, I mean, you'd be hard-pressed to say that the 4 toughest games aren't at home. And that's not to say going to Auburn late in the year is, I think, going to be really tough. Going to Florida in week 3.
Sketchy.
You're either going to have a Florida team that beat Miami and is ready to prove everybody wrong, or one that lost to Miami and is desperate at home.
That's true.
Yeah.
So, but the home schedule's kick ass, and that game, College Game Day, starting off an era, that's going to be pretty amazing.
And it's all opportunity. You know, it's all opportunity for A&M. All right, Billy Lucci, TexAx.com.
We didn't even talk about Texas. Look at us with Luch.
Wow.
Look at us.
We'll save it. We'll save
look
it.
Look at us.
Y'all get a slow day between now and September. Let me know.
Oh, yeah.
But not before 8.
9:30.
Well, no, I mean, you're on air till 8:15.
Yeah,
so
that's
I
true.
would never
I'm glad you guys pay attention.
All right, Caroline Fenton coming up next here on OTB.
Off the bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Get Gordon and get it done. You get in an accident, somebody's going to fight for you. Get you what you deserve. 225-888-8888. Just all the 8s, so just call that. And look, Gordon's going to stand up to the big insurance companies. And if you don't believe me, well, go look at all of the testimonials from past satisfied clients. You go to getgordon.com, and you can see a lot of said testimonials. You can also fill out an online consult form. They'll get in touch with you immediately. As always, I would say follow them on social media at Get Gordon. A lot of great content, kind of general life advice, business advice, what to do to protect yourself when you get in an accident, but also a lot of very fun content with your favorite athletes, whether it's like the Crumb with G series, whatever. A lot of the reason why LSU Athletics is so successful, the G team. So you join the G team as well by getting Gordon today, 225-888-8888.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Saban office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Saban have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast office products.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Farming is a way of life for us. It's not something we get up in the morning and dread going do. It's just something we go to bed at night looking forward to getting up to go do. John Deere equipment is what we as farmers strive to have. It's in your blood, it's in your veins. It's just a part of who you are. Green is what we want to be in. The other tractors were acquired to patch it up to get to where you want to be. Where we want to be is in John Deere. Flip the switch and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered.
Moscona inviting you to join us for Thursday's AFR. Final day from Radio Row at SEC Football Media Days. Arkansas, Auburn, Texas A&M, Kentucky all take their turns. We'll have it covered for you 3 to 6. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Yo, what's happening, y'all? Welcome back to OTB 104.5 ESPN. Right now, it is our pleasure to be joined by Caroline Fenton, of course, Sirius XM Radio, one of Jake's colleagues. Also, now of Yahoo Sports. Big time already. And just had her birthday.
Just did.
Last night, yep.
Yes. I don't know if you can hear it in my voice that I had a birthday yesterday.
She had a birthday yesterday. It was great. She rung it in by having dinner with 4 old white men, which I felt a little bad for her.
It's exactly how I scripted it up.
I was one of the 4 old white men, but it was very fun. It was a very good time.
I'm sure Luch and Jim gave great stories, though.
No, it was
they've got a wealth of great stories.
Yeah, they do.
Yes, it was a good time. I'm just struck at Caroline is so young and yet already so successful in this business. Complete ass kicker.
Thank you. I appreciate that, team.
Wow. Oh, okay, now this is what it was. Do you have a pink media pass?
I just got one this morning. I've had a red one
you're working,
all week long.
Yeah, you're working this morning.
I'm
right?
on with Sirius in like 20 minutes, and Olivia texted me, our colleague at Sirius XM, and she said, we'll just try and, get you up there however we can. Apparently there was a security breach.
Told you.
Just to kind of go along with all of the security breaches that have been happening.
I wasn't lying. I told
over the
him
last few weeks. Is this upgraded?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, apparently now you can ride the mechanical bull and get a free custom cowboy hat when you do so.
I did not know that. Nobody told me that.
I know. Nobody.
Screw a security
you're
breach.
telling me.
I'm getting a cowboy hat. And I'm riding a mechanical bull.
Nobody told me that either. I just learned this morning. And now I'm very jealous.
I'm going to be insufferable.
And I'm very upset. I'm very hurt.
Yeah, Doring was too about it, yeah.
And none of these people that I've known and hung out with for years, no invite. Yeah, tell Livia I'm not.
It's not. How's it Olivia's fault?
I'll FaceTime you from up there and let you know how cool it is and how awesome it is. Maybe you can help me pick up my cowboy hat. Should I do a feather?
Yeah, I think so.
Or do they brand them?
They do. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
You can get your initials, SEC logo, team logo.
Ooh.
Yeah. You can get a
Maybe
card,
I'll get all
like a little trading
three. We can workshop it. You know, me and Jake are going to go up there, and we're going to be super creative, try and, plan out the coolest hat.
I'm going to go get room service.
But you just can't hate from outside the club because you cannot get in.
I'm just gonna eat good food and just drown all my sorrows in sausage links.
You should have tried to breach security while you could have.
I would have. I literally didn't even that. I didn't even know about it.
Now the guards are up.
I didn't even know
you
about
missed your
it
opportunity.
T-Bob, who's the one person who has the cowboy hat that you're most mad at?
I'm most mad at you.
Okay.
Fair.
You don't have the cowboy
But I
hat.
don't even have one.
No,
I haven't even done it
no,
yet.
but you never explained the dynamic to me.
And that's your fault.
I'm not
Yeah.
terribly surprised that PB didn't tell me. I would say maybe CD a little bit.
Okay.
And maybe I would have thought better of Cole as well. But to be honest, Caroline, it is your birthday. And so I'm happy for you. I'm not happy for any of the other guys.
Thank you.
But, because they should have told me. But I am happy for you, and I hope you get a really, really great hat.
T-Bob.
Thank you so much.
T-Bob, would you have told me? Let's be honest.
Yeah.
In front of
Absolutely.
Caroline and the Lord.
Absolutely.
Would you have told me?
You think I would gatekeep custom cowboy hats for my friends? Why would I do that? What actions have I ever taken that would lead you to believe that I would just like Smog the Dragon guard such precious information?
I do believe that.
Yeah, see,
I do believe that.
Flabbergasted. Why? Why do you think I wouldn't tell you about the cowboy hats?
Not because you're not a foxhole guy, but you would have been so enthralled in the cowboy hat, like we would have been an afterthought.
I could have if I would not. No, not true. Not true.
Your first thought with the custom cowboy hats is, I got to call my friends. You know what?
That would have been my first thought, 100%. Like,
Maybe
guys, there's some
the real
opportunity
cowboy
up
hat
there.
is the friends that we made along the way.
No, not at all.
No, it's
not.
the cowboy hat. Screw the
can't-
friends.
I can't wear you on my head. I can't wear Roman on my head, though I'd like to.
It'd be a nice accessory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be a sharp dressed whatever it
It
is.
would be.
Exactly.
It would be.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to just completely derail this, but I'm happy. I saw the pic. I'm happy for you.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you.
Feels
I do feel better than you.
Here, you want to start coloring? I got a pink
actually
pen. You want to start coloring
You actually literally are
the
better.
badge?
Not
No,
showing
it didn't
up.
work. Sorry, I'll take my pen
We'll put
back,
some
though.
work in.
Whatever,
Surely
guys.
by the
Why
end of
don't
the
you
day.
just go back to your
Surely by the end
serious
of the day.
XM castle on the 5th floor and eat your hors d'oeuvres and I don't know. What do y'all do? Do y'all like
We ordered
snort
Taco.
gold dust?
We ordered Taco Bell up there one day.
Well, that
That's
sounds
great.
awful. I hate Taco Bell, so whatever.
Why do you hate Taco Bell? What's your beef?
My beef is the beef.
Is the beef? It's the very inconspicuous orange liquid that comes out of the beef. You don't like that?
One of my favorite stories that I've ever covered doing radio was when Taco Bell was getting in trouble for their beef not legally having enough beef in it to be considered beef. Like there wasn't enough beef for it to match the legal requirement of actually being
like the Subway bread that's
Yes.
like technically considered cake
Yeah.
because there's so much sugar in it.
Yes,
yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
But the beef tastes good, or the beef, if you want to air quote it.
Yeah.
Like we're from Louisiana. We eat stuff all the time
I
that's kind of
don't need
questionable.
to know what's
No,
in
I don't
it.
care.
Like
Yeah,
it tastes
No,
good.
it's not really about that. It's
Don't ask
about,
questions you don't want the answers
right.
to. Yeah.
It's Taco Bell's fine. I think afterwards can be a little bit of a struggle sometimes. I don't know. As you get older, your gastrointestinal tract gets a little crazier. I don't know. It's not for me. It's not as bad as Little Caesars. That's the absolute worst. But it's.
I don't think I've ever had Little Caesars.
No, you're not missing.
I really don't feel like I am. Hot and ready.
I don't want to keep you from missing anything, so I know you have to go. So thank you, Caroline.
Of course. This was.
We had
great.
had on Caroline, who like 3 years ago, one of my favorite things is how we were going back and forth about Kentucky.
Yeah.
And we had her on so you could tell her how mad you were that she's getting a cowboy hat.
It was not the plan, and then it all clicked into place that she now has a pink badge, and so yeah.
It just ruined everything for you?
Well, I mean, look, I'm not happy.
Maybe if you knew more about Kentucky, you could have a pink badge too.
Hey, you know what?
Yeah.
You know what?
If
I'm
you wouldn't
so
call
happy
him
for
Mark
you.
Poops.
I am so happy for you that you get to stay till 4:25 this afternoon to cover Kentucky football. That's gonna be super fun. That's gonna be super fun.
Okay, as we talk
Good
about
for you.
beef, and I know that we have to get out of here. Nobody hates Kentucky football more than you do.
No.
It is like an irrational hate.
Yes, no, don't you? You
Nobody
do.
wants better for Kentucky football than I do.
I don't believe you.
All you gaslight Big Blue Nation into thinking they have to be happy with mediocrity. I say they could be better, and yet all you tell them that you should.
They're doing
pay Mark
better than
Stoops
they've ever
$9
done
million,
before.
and they can be better.
But they've never been this good.
Yeah, but there's never been this level of investment in football or Kentucky sports in general. That's how I feel about Mark Stoops.
Mark Poops.
That's also how I feel about not getting a cowboy hat.
He would actually, Mark Stoops, of all the coaches in this conference, for T-Bob to hang out with,
Yeah,
Mark Stoops would be
I
his
feel
favorite.
like you would love Mark Stoops.
He drinks bourbon and stays up late and smokes cigars.
Again, it's really not a
Him.
personality thing at all. It's just, all I'm saying
He's
is
from
like,
Youngstown, Ohio, which is like the grittiest town.
Yeah,
But
I know. I'd probably like him a lot.
And that's like the style of play at Kentucky, too. Like, I don't think there is a team that plays more to their coach's personality than Mark Stoops in Kentucky. Yeah.
That's funny.
Like,
because that means what you're saying, like mediocre.
No, she's saying tough and relentless and
like Midwestern football. Yeah.
right.
Yes.
Oh man. All right. I'm sorry, Kelly. You got to go. Thank you though.
Thank
you
you
so much. Congratulations. Happy birthday.
Thank you so much.
Congrats on the Yahoo gig.
I appreciate that.
And we'll be back with more OTB next.
Off the bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Go to Coleman Roofing and Construction. ColemanRoof.com. Most complete roofing company in Louisiana. Let's say your tree falls on your home in your mechanical bowl room. All of a sudden, mechanical bowls shorten out, drywall, insulation, water damage. Well, guess what? I don't think Coleman Roof can fix the bowl, but they can fix the drywall, the insulation, the roof. That's where the construction portion comes in. That's where the complete portion comes in. Also, it's any size job, commercial, residential. It's anywhere in the state of Louisiana. So if you're building like a big building for new complex, you're doing anything like that, look, Coleman Roof is the answer for your job. And I love how they approach jobs. It's with an unrelenting energy. And from start to cleanup, you're not going to get better service to get it right the first time. ColemanRoof.com.
Get the 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge app powered by Bayou Ford and tap the microphone icon to send us your thoughts in an audio message. Your message could be played on air during Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob, The Hunt Palmer Show, and after further review with Matt Mosco.
Érase una vez un Infinity, diseñado para despertar tu imaginación y desafiarte a soñar, con 3 lujosas filas de asientos. El totalmente nuevo Infinity QX80 de 3 filas.
Farming is a way of life for us. It's not something we get up in the morning and dread going do. It's just something we go to bed at night looking forward to getting up to go do. John Deere equipment is what we as farmers strive to have. It's in your blood, it's in your veins. It's just a part of who you are. Green is what we want to be in. The other tractors were acquired to patch it up to get to where you want to be. Where we want to be is in John Deere. Flip the switch and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Saban office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Saban have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our number one product is always customer satisfaction.
Join me for a Thursday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show presented by Rouse's. Luke Johnson joins us from out in California at Saints Camp. Arkansas, Texas A&M, whoop! Auburn and Kentucky wrap things up from SEC Media Days. Hunt Palmer Show, 1 to 3 weekdays, 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
I've been everywhere, man, looking for someone who can please me, love me all night long. I've been everywhere, man, looking for
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger. 1130 The Tiger.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to OTB. We're about to wrap up hour number 2. Fun hour of guests there. We got Big Deal or No Big Deal. Kicking off hour 3, we got Munchies. So got an NFL story of the day to get to. A later start here today, hence the lack of guests. As I don't believe that. Who's up first today? We haven't hit home. I got it right here.
Arkansas is up first.
Yeah, I got it right here. Arkansas, but it's at 10:35.
Yeah.
Texas A&M showing up at noon, Auburn at 2:05, and then Kentucky all the way at 3:25. That's kind of funny that
why did they do that?
Yeah, why did they?
This is the last day.
That's what I'm saying. Why move the times back?
The teams have been
starting
at 9 a.m.
I know. That's kind of frustrating for I think everybody.
Maybe they're trying to get everyone to stay
involved. You know who I'm kind of fascinated to see today? Well, Hugh Freeze, obviously, and
Mark Stoops.
I'm deeply interested in Mike Elko. Yeah, sure, Steve Pickett. The head coaches are always interesting, but Peyton Thorne, Hugh Freeze, maybe one of the more surprising moments of the entire offseason is Hugh Freeze hitching his wagon to Peyton Thorne and being very upfront about it and basically just saying, look, man, going rate for a quarterback out the portal is about $1 million, and it's not to say that we couldn't have done that, but I just didn't see anything out there that was better than what I have here.
Yeah.
And valuing consistency and continuity over maybe chasing a slight talent upgrade. And the thing about Thorne that everybody always forgets is we saw him. He was good statistically when he had Kenneth Walker III. And then last year, they didn't have good weapons. They had all the weapons. There's no separation. This year, they have very good weapons, probably have better weapons than Alabama does. Do you think Peyton Thorne's going to be good? We should rank SEC
what's
quarterbacks
good?
Next hour.
Yeah, what's good? What's your scale for good?
Close to Nuss?
No.
Or Nico?
No.
Better than the rest? Graham Mertz or Peyton Thorne?
Graham Mertz. Look, for everything that we say about Graham Mertz and we dive into the analytics, we also have to be football guys at some point. The guy threw for almost 3,000 yards, had 20 touchdowns and only 3 interceptions, and completed 73% of his passes. Right? It can be some check down Charlie. I understand that. But Graham Mertz had a really good year last year. I mean, certainly to what we thought he was going to be. Graham Mertz was a very highly rated guy coming out of high school. Then he goes to Wisconsin where, you're going to run the power at that time before the dairy raid got there. No, I don't think Peyton Thorne's going to be Graham Mertz. If he's Graham Mertz of what Graham Mertz did last year, then look out for Auburn.
Pretty good. Yeah. Rivers, did I ignore your question?
I have no idea what I even asked.
Yeah, I don't remember.
I'm offended.
I don't remember. And what's been going on in chat the entire show? We were hanging out with guests, so I didn't pay attention this hour.
There is some debate, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, Taylor and Alondra, but we're trying to decide which of you two is the more foxhole guy.
Yeah, obviously Alondra.
Alondra for sure.
And then I thought Taylor's getting
T-Bob chose Alondra. I am floored. That's just the surprise
so did Jake,
of the day.
though. Jake did too.
I mean, I went on a beer run, no questions asked, dropped everything I was doing, was there and back in 8 minutes. Track record speaks for itself. I think we're good to go, though.
Wait. Give us the rankings one more time.
Well, I mean, okay, to be fair to Taylor, Alondra, didn't your car break down recently, and who went and picked you up for work?
Yeah, Taylor did, and we actually gave him a lot of props for that. But does that make him the most foxhole?
Well, I do want to be nice to him, but then he's probably going to hit me with a story of the day next hour that's going to make me like just really sad because it's just like a death, just a young death. He's just been hitting us with a lot of young deaths lately.
Or an assault.
I almost feel like we should do a no death rule. Well, no, because you want to honor people who pass, but God, Taylor, just give me something happy today, dude. Please.
It's a good one. It actually has an LSU connection as well, so you're good. You don't have to get in your feels today.
Taylor does say that.
Feels today.
He does say that sometimes, and then we go to him. He's like,
and it's so horrible.
Yeah, and it's a little misdirection. All right, well, look, wrapping up hour 2 here. Last hour of coverage from OTB here at SEC Media Days. Of course, AFR will have a lot of canned stuff from interviews and whatnot that Rivs and Matt have been putting together, so look for that this afternoon. More off the bench. Big deal, no big deal next.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Go to Trash Rangers today. TrashRangersLLC.com. You go to TrashSignup.com, and in just a couple of minutes, you can, if you're a Livingston or Central Parish, you can select your number of cans, see your pickup days. Remember, they do things like texting you the night before ahead of time, so you never forget to put out your cans again. But if you're a business owner, this is not geographically, anybody can do this, and you need a front-load dumpster, you need it taken up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, even 6 days a week, they understand the flexible needs of business. They're local. They can work with you, and they can make your waste management needs come to fruition.
TrashRangersLLC.com is the website. Remember, if you want to be the cool person on the block in the town, get that red trash can in Livingston Parish. But if you're in Baton Rouge and you can't be as cool as that, it's okay. You can get the roll-off dumpster for your yard if you've got a project going on at your house or for your business. Remember, 3 different sizes of those roll-off dumpsters. And so if you've got a large project, they've got you covered as well. TrashRangersLLC.com.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is taking $20,000 off new 23 Ram 1500 trucks. We're open for business in our beautiful new showroom and taking $20,000 off the powerful Ram truck. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared towards seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs, even in the case of an after-hours emergency. The light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Farming is a way of life for us. It's not something we get up in the morning and dread going do. It's just something we go to bed at night looking forward to getting up to go do. John Deere equipment is what we as farmers strive to have. So it's in your blood, it's in your veins. It's just a part of who you are. Green is what we want to be in. The other tractors were acquired to patch it up to get to where you want to be, where we want to be, is in John Deere. Flip the switch and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, party plank, and vinyl siding. But our #1 product is always customer satisfaction. Visit us online at reliefwindows.com. Oh, by the way, we do shutters too.
Good morning. It's 9 a.m. here on Thursday, July 18th. Today in Baton Rouge, expect rainy skies with a high of 91. In hour 3 of today's show, we'll have Big Deal or No Big Deal at 9 a.m. And then at 9:15, our Munchies segment with LSU Executive Chef Michael Johnson. If you missed hours 1 or 2 of the show, you can catch it in the on-demand section at 1045ESPN.com. You can also follow us on Twitter or Instagram at OTB_ESPN. And watch us on YouTube at the 1045 ESPN channel. Hour number 3 of Off the Bench, live from Dallas, Texas at the 2024 SEC Media Days starts now.
Let we go!
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Hey, they said I got to come off the bench.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Yo, yo, yo.
Yo, what's going on, yo? Welcome back. Jim, you're good, dude. Come on, man. Love you, man. Jim Nagy. Love him so much. He's always so kind to us. Love the Senior Bowl. Can't wait for next year again. Yes, are we live? Yeah, we're live. Yeah, we're absolutely live. I got a little bit of senioritis here going on, Jim. I'm wheels up in a few hours. I miss my kids.
I'm going to pressure.
I miss my bed.
I'm going to pressure Jim right here on air. Can OTB pick one Senior Bowl player next year to come to the game?
Where's here? Hand Jim a mic real quick so we can get an on-air.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but we
real
get
quick.
to pick anybody we want.
You need to watch the tape.
Give us that power.
Yeah, you know I'll watch.
Power.
Yeah. All right. We'll watch the tape. You give us a list of 5 fullbacks and allow us to pick the fullback that comes
I don't want
to
to grind fullback tape. Oh,
Sorry.
okay.
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
I think that's
Actually,
fair.
that is kind of a fun bit.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll send T-Bob 5 O-linemen, and we'll send you 5 fullbacks.
Yeah, 5 that you would
if I can
to the
find
game.
5 fullbacks.
I would actually just let me tag along in
it was
the
going so
the
well.
fullbacks because like
you were a fullback.
I know. I was.
He wore 49 a couple times at LSU.
49.
Really?
Yeah.
I got in the game twice. Once on a 3rd and short, and Les was like, "Why in the hell did we just put him in?" He called timeout. And the other time on a 3rd and short, and the lineman jumped offside.
Were you on the wing or were you in the backfield?
Backfield, bro.
No, nice.
Hand
Okay.
in the dirt, ready to go. Caught a couple tuds in practice, not to lie, or not to brag.
Yeah, I felt like you lied after you said not to lie.
You're right. It was 1 touchdown. It was not a couple. But that's also the same year I had a 13-yard kick return in Jordan Hare. Look it up.
You were one of the upbacks.
Some say it's the most dynamic highlight in LSU return history. I tend to lean Trendon Holiday. Skylar Green was pretty good as well, but, that's just kind of what the public
So
says.
if I have this story right, he was wearing 49 during his kick return, and we had another 49 that played defense, and they called the defensive player's name on the TV broadcast and not
So, like,
TV.
you know how when we would always, when the games would end, you'd go back, you'd be partying, and at like 1 a.m. ESPN would show the replay. So our favorite thing after big win, we'd all be drunk and we'd like rewatch the game. And
feel bad we're making Jim work.
Yeah, my bad, dude.
That's my fault.
And I was a freshman, and so I never really had playing time. I never heard my name on TV. And I get this kick return, and I'm so pumped. We're rewatching the broadcast, like, oh my God, I'm going to hear my name.
You're telling everyone at the party to shut up so you can hear the TV.
And then it's like like in those movies, then where they get cut from the movie. Yeah, they call me Kirsten Pittman.
Oh,
who's like a 6'5", beautiful black man.
Well, here's my follow-up question. Were you switching out jerseys on the sideline? Were you another number, and then when you had to go in at fullback, are you pulling the jersey off and throwing 49 on, grabbing Greg Stringfellow, String, help me get this on?
The only person that I know that switched out was my buddy DeRosick, and that's because he would play some O-line. At that time, I was not high enough on the O-line depth chart. There was no threat.
So you were just coming up the tunnel with 49 on.
I was pure special teams, baby.
Love it.
Pure special teams.
So you wore 49 like kind of that whole year?
Yeah, but I tore my freaking ACL like 3 games in covering punts. Turns out, not that athletic. I was running down South Carolina. Old boy put one move on me. I'm like, oh my God, he's cutting back into me. I'm gonna put my helmet on the ball. I'm gonna force a fumble. I'm gonna be a hero. And the second he made a cut, I tried to match it, and my knee just exploded.
All right, let's continue to put Jim to work. Best punt returner in your days in the NFL or Senior Bowl that you actually either watched the tape, watched live, whatever.
Easy. He's going into Canton, Ohio in like a week. Devin Hester.
Oh, my cousin.
His cousin.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was a return against Duke. There was again, it's Duke. You can laugh at that, but it was it was like the best punt return I've ever seen in my life.
That's a great answer. There's footage of me catching my cousin from behind in the NFL. Just want to put that out there. Did he have to slow down to cut back inside? He did. Doesn't matter. Still there.
So you've actually had to run down and try to tackle that guy.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
So,
can't imagine.
Oh, my God.
The one that
how
made
dumb
me,
would I look if I tried to do that?
The one that made me look the most foolish was Deshaun Jackson, though.
Oh.
So I'm personal protector, right? Nobody's coming. Check, get out. And so I'm the first guy there, right? When I say he shook me so bad that there was a guy trailing me from behind trying to block me, he shook me so bad that I fell so hard that they called a block in the back.
And you didn't get touched?
Me. He didn't touch me. But I fell so hard that I got a block in the back penalty.
Was it a flop?
Yeah,
no.
It was straight. You love soccer.
It was a FIFA flop.
You love soccer.
No, I would have loved to said that.
Flop.
But he put a 1-2 on me, and I just, boom. And the guy behind me didn't touch me.
You know who I always remember? I always think about that one Dante. I know he had a great career, but that one Dante Hall year.
The joystick.
Where, he literally, one kick, I remember, they're trying to kick out of bounds. His toes are barely in.
Yeah.
He reaches over and, brings it back in and then still scores a touchdown.
So that was a subtle flex. Football guys will know, Jacob had to drop in there that he was the personal protector, and everyone knows that PP's like the smart guy.
Yeah, not to brag.
Yeah.
What do you think I was doing on punting?
Yeah, and of course, upbacks. You want your upbacks
that was
to be
a shield
smart.
punt, right?
Yeah, we didn't know. Yeah, we did the shield to where it was like, oh, this is great. So I just stand
you were on punt team too. That's a flex, man.
That's what I tore my ACL on covering.
You were an offensive lineman that played some tight end and special teams. That's athletic, man. How many old linemen have that background?
They
That's
used
impressive.
to call me Sweet Feet, Jim. Okay,
Sweet Feet.
White Rhino.
That's because they're so little, though.
Yeah, but they can do ladders like a stun gun. Okay, oh, you big old size.
I think
16,
I know.
gargantuan little.
I think you'll appreciate this.
Weirdos.
You know who the hardest punt returner to tackle was?
Sproles?
Well, he would have been, but I was his teammate, thank God. Julian Edelman.
Ooh.
Would not
Why?
go down.
Just because of the toughness?
His balance, Jim, he would put a palm on the ground and spin around and bounce back up, or he'd be this close to the ground. He'd find I was like, would you please stop? You couldn't get him on the ground. The first guy never did. Now, he wasn't going to go 85 yards. But the first guy was never going to tackle him. Couldn't get him on the ground.
I actually scouted Edelman for the Patriots.
Yeah.
Okay. So he's a quarterback at Kent State.
Yeah.
I'm living in Cleveland. I saw him play a bunch. Went down there, worked him out, and then I go to the Chiefs after the combine.
Yeah.
So he ends up in New England.
Yeah.
So right when you left New England, he ended up in New England.
Yeah. So the report in the New England system is from me.
Yeah.
But then I go to
so
Kansas
City. You don't get any of the credit for it, though?
You know what's crazy? So
What?
Bill Belichick, years later, after Edelman probably won the Super Bowl MVP or something, he credited Rick Goslin, the writer from the Dallas Morning News, of tipping him off. Every scout in the department texted me. They're like, "What is Bill doing, man? He's killing you right." Zero credit to the guy, to the scout. That's one of my greatest scouting jobs. I took a quarterback,
1,000%,
converted him to wide. But I'll give them credit. They did, after I left, they did go and they worked him out. Josh McDaniels flew out there. Nick Caserio, the current GM of the Houston Texans.
Oh, yeah.
They went out there. They shot a bunch of jug balls at him to see if he could return punts.
Yeah.
Because we didn't know that. We'd never seen him do that. But yeah, Jules he had a ridiculous career.
What's the star on the resume for you? Guys you scouted, wrote a full report, and it worked out for that team.
That's what people always ask.
Yeah.
You know, who's your guy? Well, they got to end up with your team.
Yeah.
Shoot, that's a good one.
Well, who's someone that maybe you just scouted then that maybe just ended up having success that other people kind of would
maybe you stood on the table and nobody listened.
Yeah, there is a lot of those too. I mean, I'd rather talk about the guys I screwed up. Let's talk about the guys I screwed up. Like Darius Leonard. Okay, so Darius Leonard was a linebacker at South Carolina State.
Yeah,
and this was before I got. This was us in Seattle. So when you go into small schools, not like LSU, you go to LSU, like scouts aren't talking to you guys, right? Like you guys are off limits. You go to a small school, they'll bring the player to you.
Right.
And so I sat with Darius Leonard for like an hour during fall camp, like August camp. We sat there. He was like 211 pounds.
Yeah.
And I was like, 211 pounds, like, dang, man.
Yeah.
But he was really instinctive and he was really fast. But I got hung up on the weight and the play strength. Then he goes to the Senior Bowl. And looks great, goes in the second round, goes to a bunch of Pro Bowls, and my report looks awful in the Seattle Seahawks system right now. That was a bad one.
That's funny because I feel like there's been some talk.
He's no Shaquille Leonard, by the way.
In terms of just like weight, like that was the big. I mean, that's what Brian Kelly said about Harold Perkins, right? It's like, what would you have done last year if you wanted to play inside? Like tie him down and made him eat more, basically. Do you think Perk can be in the middle, or where do you think Perk projects next level?
It's going to be hard for him to be a pass rusher at the next level because of the lack of length and weight, right? I mean, when I met Harold at the pro day this year, and I think he told me he was 211 or 212. I saw him here. I think he said 220, 225.
Yeah,
so he's put on decent weight. But even like the guy he compares most favorably to that I did in terms of like athlete, explosive closing speed is probably Von Miller. But Vaughn was a bigger guy, man.
Yeah.
Vaughn had length. Vaughn was 245 pounds.
That lean on you with that long arm.
Yeah.
Vaughn, his first step was so good. He's the only guy. He almost picked off, like, you know, when you run those quick look routes where the quarterback just gets it, one step, boom. He almost picked a ball off. He got a hand on it and almost picked it and almost housed it. But so I think fans that are giving up on the Harold Perkins linebacker thing don't. Let's see what year 2 looks like. If you haven't played off the ball linebacker and you're trying to do it in the SEC your first year, like, it's not going to look pretty. That's a really hard position. So I would, if you get into the middle of the year this year and he's struggling to find the football and read and react and all those things, then maybe it's just not going to click. But I wouldn't be pushing the panic button because it wasn't, it didn't look great last year.
Yeah. What's kind of crazy about last year is though he had a really good coverage grade and he put up a season that statistically would have been great for most people. Like, he had better numbers than Jared Ivey did, and he's here for Ole Miss. And everybody's know how good he is. But it's just like, I guess he was such a lightning bolt freshman year that there's a disconnect there. So
he won at least one game for sure.
Arkansas,
by himself. Arkansas, he had 4 sacks, 2 4.
Looking at this, and you guys tell me what you think. So, like, I understand why the fan base, and I heard. Like, why aren't they just letting this guy tear off the edge and do what he does best, right?
Yeah.
Brian Kelly is using him off the ball. I'm guessing probably because he's trying to do what's best by Harold Perkins, and he's trying to train him up to play in the NFL.
Yeah.
There would be people that argue, like, well, that's not Brian. But if I were in recruiting, I would be like, listen, I'm going to do what's best for my player, because all these guys, every single guy that LSU is recruiting, if they're that good, if they're good enough to get recruited by the Tigers, they think they're playing in the NFL someday.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And so I would say, listen, like, this wasn't the perfect thing for LSU, but we're doing what's best for Harold Perkins. We're training him up at off the ball linebacker. That's what the NFL sees him as. So I know it's interesting. That's an interesting debate.
Yeah. It is, and I think I'm with you. I think you side on the let's develop this guy for the NFL. And really the problem was just that the defensive overall was so bad. Harold would create a negative play, but then it would disappear into ether because they'd get the 3rd and 13.
Yeah.
Or they'd get the 2nd and 12. So I think it should be better top. Jim, thank you so much. We didn't mean to suck you in.
I want to give him one more. Also, what Harold could do is blitz in the A-gap. From depth or as a mug linebacker, as a running back, that is so difficult to go out there, especially somebody with elite rush skills.
And I think that's, sorry to cut you off, I think that's what Blake Baker's going to do. So they had a guy last year that we had committed to the Senior Bowl. He ended up getting injured, couldn't play in the end, but Tyron Hopper.
Oh, yeah.
And Hop, blitzed from depth at the second level a bunch, and I don't know what he had, 5, 6, 7 sacks last year. And Harold Perkins is more explosive than Hopper. So
for sure.
Yeah,
and that's what Damone
it's
Clark
just a
did
tough
the same
block.
thing at LSU when Baker took over. Damone's huge, though. But,
so like you know this, like to our listeners, if T-Bob's rushing off the edge, well, I'll take the inside away by my positioning, and I just worry about him going either through me or outside. If I'm a running back and I'm in gun, I'm at 5 yards, and T-Bob's coming through the A gap, and he's got a 3-way go, left, right, or through me. And most of the time he's on a running head start, and I'm sitting there. I'm trying to get started, but you're already full speed. Even the best pass protector, like even Darren Sproles, who I think is the best I've ever played with, you struggle with that.
It's a tough assignment, man.
It is.
The best one I've ever been around. And I heard he was bad at it when he first got to the Patriots. I wasn't there when he got there, but I was there with him when he was great. Was Kevin Falk.
Yeah,
really?
Kevin Falk was.
I mean, he was like the ultimate third down back. I feel
kind of like the start of it, really.
He was great at receiving the ball. What about Garrison Hurst?
I'll take Kevin Falk, third down back.
I don't know. Did Garrison Hurst catch?
Well, obviously, everyone knows about Tom Brady and all those, but to me, the unsung hero of all those teams. At least I was there 7 years, and I told him that we put him in our Hall of Fame a couple years ago at the Senior Bowl. I'm like, you were the unsung hero, dude. And he told me the greatest story at the Pro Day a couple years ago. He was like, you don't know how many times Brady just leaned over and he's like, hey Kev, get open. He forget the play. He's like, I'm coming to you, just get open.
Yeah.
Wow. And he's like, he didn't care what I ran. I just knew it was coming to me, so I had to get open. I'm like, you know, it's in the NFL. It's like drawing it up in the dirt. It's like playground ball. Isn't that so cool?
That's the only.
Hey, Kev, get open.
That's the only LSU jersey I ever owned growing up. That old number 3. He was so cool. God, he was so cool. Jim Aggie, thank you for
we always make Jim join us twice. Always.
Thank you so much, brother. Sorry about that, man. You're the best. Munchies coming up next.
Simon's fullback.
Yes. Let us pick a fullback. Let us pick a fullback. We'll be back with more OTB next.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
All-Star Toyota Baton Rouge.com, All-Star Toyota of Baton Rouge.com, where if you're looking to buy new, maybe Toyota certified used vehicles, still get great warranty coverage at a better price. Maybe you need a rent, you need a body shop, a service center, you get in an accident. Insurance claims are welcome. Free professional estimates, excellent lines of communication throughout the process. So, they text you about everything that's going on. You're not going to be surprised, like, oh, no, why'd you do this? No. It really is incredible, y'all. And it's indicative of the entire building, as if it's sales, maintenance, customer service, whatever. You're going to be satisfied. I guarantee it. All-Star Toyota Baton Rouge.
Go to the website today. Look for the new vehicles. Look for the ones you can lease, and certainly look for the ones you can rent per day rental prices. We've been telling you over the last couple of weeks, you still have time for that last-minute summer vacation before August gets here and school starts up. So call Miss Lisa Sessions today in that rental department. Rent your Toyota, buy your new Toyota, or lease that Toyota at allstartoyota.batonrouge.com.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood Subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
I'm looking forward to 50 more.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Saban office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Saban have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs, even in the case of an after-hours emergency.
Matt Moscona inviting you to join us for Thursday's AFR. Final day from Radio Row at SEC Football Media Days. Arkansas, Auburn, Texas A&M, Kentucky all take their turns. We'll have it covered for you 3 to 6. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
When I met you in the summer, to my heartbeat sound, we fell in love as the leaves turn brown.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
All right, it is Thursday at 9:15, which means it's time to check in with the best executive chef in the game, and that is Chef Michael Johnson for some Munchies. Chef, what's going on, man? How are we doing today?
I'm good, brother. How are you?
Doing great. We're wrapping up our coverage of SEC Media Days here in Dallas. It's the final day.
Yep.
Excited to get back. Let's dive in. Hashtag Munchies, a very appropriate question given we're at. Go-to continental breakfast item.
Continental breakfast item. I'm a blueberry muffin guy, and with butter on it. Like it's got to have butter and whipped butter, not that stuff that you got to. It really upsets me at breakfast when you like your eyes are still not quite open and yet the coffee hasn't kicked in and you're trying to spread butter on a piece of bread or something and it's not whipped. And it just oh man.
I actually ran into that just not long ago. It's still cold, still hard, not that soft, smooth. Like, come on, what are we doing here?
Yeah, you got to be a little bit more thoughtful than that, man.
Hashtag Munchies, favorite way to prepare skin on turkey thighs?
I don't know why.
I know. I thought the question was just going to end at skin myself. Like, favorite way to prepare skin?
Yeah, I like the salsa skin. It helps draw the moisture out and it helps crisp it up. And I just like it crispy.
So I was wondering, Chef, for some reason, man, when I do beer can chicken or really any chicken, I can never get the skin to crisp. Why is that?
Well, specifically for beer can chicken, like you're adding moisture to it. Like the skin, it requires dry heat. You don't want moist heat. So we actually have some settings on our oven that a turkey is a relatively large object with a fair amount of moisture in it. So as it's baking, it's releasing moisture into the oven. If you don't have a way to evacuate that steam some way, shape, or how, it may not brown well. A lot of people will take butter and rub the legs with butter so that the oil helps. It's like an accelerant, right? Like it's almost like frying it. Yeah.
Chef, what's the go-to room service order for you? I mean, T-Bob is looking forward to it. He's talked about it a couple times already. So if you're in the hotel, I guess basic, because depending on where you are, I guess the room service menu could change, but basic room service menu.
What, basic or
just a basic one like that you could get anywhere. Like what would you order?
Yeah, it's probably going to be either a big fat burger with every topping that they have on it.
Yes.
With some fries. I will eat a steak in room service every once in a while.
Oh, wow. I don't think I've ever gotten a steak in room service.
Oh, yeah. Well, when I'm not going to sell myself out and saying when this happened, but I will say this is I have, at that point spent time in hotels, traveling. And there was one specific time when the hotel came to me and said, we would like to send you something to drink to the room. And so they sent me a bottle of bourbon and then had a steak with that bottle of bourbon, not the whole bottle, but, I had steak and bourbon in the room that night.
I had to sit back and ask myself, am I going to take my career into my own hands? And
I will always take with me. Hashtag Munchies. If Brian Kelly comes to you and says, I need a showstopper meal for a 5-star recruit and their family to close the deal, what are you cooking?
I'm going to do some research on the family, where they're from. Like all that stuff matters. It's not just, throwing steak and lobster at it. I want to know what they like. I want to impress them with something that may be familiar to them or something of that nature. It might be something Southern. It might be, that they're Northern, it may be something that I take a Northern dish and turn it into with a little Southern flair on it. And that happens all the time. I mean, we definitely cook for recruits a lot here. So, yeah.
Well, and remember, guys, Chef also does the excellent Taste of Home series where if people are from different parts of the world, different parts of the country, he helps give them a little, taste of home. As they sit here in a new place. Hashtag Munchies. How long can you keep fresh shrimp before cooking? I'm going to Ohio, and I want to bring some to borrow.
If they're on ice, you can probably get 7 days out of it. You're kind of pushing it beyond 7 days. So seafood has a larger amount of water in it, and it needs to be kept as cold as possible, like close to freezing. So you need to have ice on it so that it's dripping down around it, and it's not sitting in cold water. Like the water actually has deteriorative qualities to it. So if your shrimp are sitting in the ice, they'll start tearing apart and turning like fibrous. But you can probably get 7 days on a fresh shrimp. If they're caught that day, right? If they come in off the boat, I wouldn't go beyond that though.
Chef, since we're in Dallas, what would be your go-to meal for someone that's in Dallas? Like, you want to have, like, do you have a spot in Dallas, or is it like, no, I know Texas cuisine, I'm going to make you something? Like, what would you recommend?
I do like big fat steaks in Dallas. Like the Texas and beef just go hand in hand. Texas and barbecue, but I really prefer Austin for barbecue instead of Dallas. Dallas is one of those kind of upper scale cities that I always kind of lean towards that big fat steak and maybe even Wagyu, like something nice, because they have the availability of it. Dallas, you can get good seafood in Dallas too, but I don't know, like when in Rome, I feel like that's where the cattle are raised, or some good cattle at least. Yeah.
I've had some of the best Mexican food I've ever had here the past couple of days. You know what I've been shocked by, Chef, is normally you go to a Mexican restaurant and I'm used to the salsa that they bring out being kind of an afterthought, and kind of lazily just whatever. Just the basic table salsa and salsa verde here has been blowing my mind.
I haven't ventured out as much in Dallas. Like College Station has some really good Mexican places where they have all that accoutrements. I haven't really found that place in Dallas, and I guess maybe it's just because I always go to the States. Like depending on which city I'm in Texas, I think there's a fare that kind of pulls this emotion out of me that, okay, this is what I want.
Hashtag Munchies. I had a big bottle of avocado oil, which my brother-in-law used to fry onion rings and fries, and it worked great.
Yeah.
I guess there's not really a question there.
Well, yeah, I think somebody called in a while back and asked about deep frying it. And
that's right. Yeah, that was Brian.
Perhaps. Yep.
Hashtag Munchie's favorite way to prepare eggplant. I've got some growing in the garden.
I'm Italian, so I gear towards like a Parmesan and hand making the sauce, and like having some good mozzarella, fresh mozzarella, like buffalo mozzarella melted on it instead of like provolone. I like good mozzarella cheese on it. But I also like stuff like souvlaki and stuff like, like cooked down to where it's mushy, but just has nice flavor in it with some stock and stuff. But I do not like the skin on my eggplant. Like, I hate it when people leave the skin on eggplant.
I don't know that I've ever really had eggplant that I really liked, to be honest. But
you don't like whipped eggplant? I know.
I don't think I've had it.
it.
I don't think I've had it. I've never really had I've never ordered an eggplant parm. I need to expand there and try some out.
You just like using the emoji. Hashtag Munchies.
Damn right.
Chef, when is the LSU cookbook coming out?
Small hands. Just wait.
Oh gosh. I don't know. That's a good question. It's funny because we don't write. I mean, we have recipes in our computer system that generates what the nutritionals are, but we actually produce those recipes off of how we cook that day. I don't like to hand a recipe to a chef and say, I want you to make my dish. I hand people a dish and say, make that for me. I want to see how you create it. And I want you to do it with these guidelines. Remove the heavy fat. Make sure you're using stocks. Don't cook with butter, and give them some guidelines and let them kind of troubleshoot how to get through that dish instead of, it builds creativity. It builds problem solving. I know this sounds crazy coming from a chef, but I do believe in recipes, but it's kind of a loose structure of how I cook. Like, I'll look at a recipe and say, okay, that sounds good, and then make it my own anyway. I rarely do I take a recipe and cook it straight to the recipe, just because that's how I cook.
Ah, man, I would love to just be inside of your brain for a day while you're cooking and see all the just decades of experience and information from which you pull to create these things. It's so nice. Whatever. It's like the meals you made us in the studio. They're unbelievable. Last one, hashtag Munchies. Is soft shell crab the best crab?
Oh man, that's tough. There are really great crab species out there, but some of them are endangered right now. So I don't want to go down that road. But I really do love a soft shell crab, and I really specifically love a soft shell crab po' boy. And man, this even at 9 o'clock, I still get hungry when we talk about food. Yeah, I do love soft shell crabs. But I like a nice big soft shell crab, not the little baby ones that that you kind of look at them like what is this? I like nice big soft shell crabs, and you get the best of both worlds with crab. You don't have to pick through all the stuff. You just eat it all, and everything's good in it, right? So. Yeah, I do think soft shell crabs are pretty great.
Chef Michael Johnson, executive chef for LSU Athletics, one of our best friends here every single week, every single Thursday. He makes time for us. Thank you so much, Chef. You have an excellent day, my friend.
Take care, guys.
Take care to you as well. All right. Coming up next here on OTB, couple more segments left before the boys sign off here in Dallas. More to be coming up.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
New Pinnacle Exterior Construction, PECbuilt.com. I really want to push you to the website because I can tell you what Pinnacle does in terms of any fence that you could possibly need, outdoor kitchens, pools, outdoor living areas, pergolas, bulkheads, whatever you need. But, again, why you should go to PECbuilt.com is once you see the gallery, you're like, oh, okay. Not only is it accomplishing what you need, but, there's real artisanship here. It's beautiful, the quality of the work. And so if you want to bring your backyard, make it the backyard of your dreams, one you've always wanted, you want Pinnacle Exterior Construction, PECbuilt.com.
Yeah, also go to the website if you are looking to do a couple of different things. If you're looking to build a fence, they can help you, no matter what kind of fence it is. We've told you that. They can get that done. Also, if you're looking for a bulkhead and if you're looking for artificial turf in your backyard for that putting green or maybe a workout space for your backyard, then come in. They can do that. You can check it out online, like T-Bob said, PECbuilt.com.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner MD Anderson Cancer Center. Long live you.
There's nothing chill about a hot, sweaty line. Unless you add Mountain Cold Refreshment. Coors Light. Choose chill.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Farming is a way of life for us. It's not something we get up in the morning and dread going do. It's just something we go to bed at night looking forward to getting up to go do. John Deere equipment is what we as farmers strive to have. So it's in your blood, it's in your veins. It's just a part of who you are. Green is what we want to be in. The other tractors were acquired to patch it up to get to where you want to be. Where we want to be is in John Deere.
Join me for a Thursday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show presented by Rouse's. Luke Johnson joins us from out in California at Saints Camp. Arkansas, Texas A&M, whoop! Auburn and Kentucky wrap things up from SEC Media Days. Hunt Palmer Show, 1 to 3 weekdays, 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Yo, what's happening, y'all? Welcome back to OTB. We get ready to wrap up SEC Media Days. Couple segments left here on Radio Row. It's been a very fun week. Again, our coverage of SEC Media Days 2024 is brought to you by Parrish Construction and Roofing. Visit parrishbuilt.com. Also, presented by Rev Business and Relief Windows. We are almost wheels up. Jake, you are going to remain here throughout the day for XM, and you are going to do
4 more hours.
Yeah. So yes, and you will talk to all of the coaches and the players and whatnot.
Everybody but Arkansas. Caroline and Fozzie will handle Arkansas. I think we'll get A&M, Auburn, and Kentucky.
Okay, so then out of your grouping, who are you most looking forward to?
A&M probably, just because it's an unknown. I don't think I've ever actually interviewed Mike Elko.
I'm surprised that y'all haven't crossed paths given the amount of not even on the phone.
I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
Maybe once when he was at Duke, maybe, but I don't remember it. But so I'm excited to kind of get to know him. I'm going to actually base kind of where I put A&M based off the interview. I'm going to be honest with you. Like, I just kind of want to see his energy and talk philosophy a little bit.
I'm more bullish on Oklahoma after watching
That's what I'm saying.
Venables.
Yeah.
Now.
So
I get the Venables.
Yeah.
Like I get how he could get you really pumped up and be somebody that like inspires you as a coach.
Yeah. So I know what I'm going to get from Hugh Freeze, which he's good. I know what I'm going to get from Mark Stoops. Again, he's good as well. But I've interviewed them a ton. Never talked with Mike Elko, so excited to kind of see what his demeanor is, how he talks about his team, how he handles Notre Dame and the opener questions, because that's going to tell me a lot. Like, you're right. It's a great example. Brent Venables, like that.
Made me more confident.
That made me like, I'm like, I think I kind of like him a lot.
We were talking to Billy Lucci earlier about Tommy Moffett and the A&M offseason program. That man weighs 300 pounds.
Oh, wow.
That's Shamar Turner. He tweeted out a picture, just retweeted it. Tommy Moffett looking like he is doing Tommy Moffett things over there in Aggie land. Are you going to ask about Moffett?
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Okay,
yeah, 100%. I'll be like, excuse me, Mike, does he still say get your piss hot?
Yeah. And then, prior preparation prevents poor performance.
Yeah, I like
How bad
that.
do you want it? What are you willing to sacrifice to get it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's Moffett. That's not me. Whoop. That's Moffett.
That's Moffett. Yeah, crank the diesel. That's Moffett.
Cochran took it all and tried to make it. Tried to make everybody think that it was his. It's all Moffett.
Yeah.
Is Cochran still in UGA?
I think so. I don't know.
I would be kind of intrigued if I got to choose someone to talk to. It wouldn't be Mark Stoops. I'd be kind of embarrassed. I think it would maybe be Hugh Freeze. Actually, I always loved Hugh on the recruiting trail.
He's good. That's what I'm saying.
One
He's
of the
good.
nicest, most personable, memorable people I've ever met in terms of just like how kind he was, how he would like check in on you and everything. And I know he got a little greasy there. But
Get a little greasy.
Just a little wobble. Just a little moral wobble, if you will.
What I really think about when I think about
wobble,
Hugh
wobble.
Freeze at this point is how defensive he used to get on Twitter.
Yeah.
If you said
Did he?
anything about him on Twitter, he
little
would
too
send you a
online.
DM.
A little too
And he'd want
online,
to
for
chat
sure.
about it. He was a
Yeah.
little too online.
Yep. So I would like to talk to Hugh Freeze for sure, and see Peyton Thorne also. And you know what? Hey, Jake, are you going to say bye to Sam Pittman when you see him?
Oh, that's effed up.
I know it sucks.
Wow,
So crazy. I know.
that hurt. Like hearing that.
I know. Well, because that's reality.
Yeah.
It sucks. It's sad. I love Sam
Probably.
Pittman. The cold beer post game quotes. One of my
Yeah.
favorite quotes. Because not cold beer.
Cold beer.
Yeah, cold beer.
I'll probably ask him. I'm not going to get him. No, I'm not, so I will say goodbye. He's like, why? Hester, I'll see you next year. Maybe.
I love you, man. Just come here. Shh. Don't say anything. Just give me a hug. Who knows? Maybe.
You never know. You never know in this profession. So look, he's always been great. I mean, he's one of my favorites.
Okay, so we've had a lot of quarterbacks show up this week. Let's just try to do a quick couple minutes ranking of the SEC quarterbacks. So we're going to go Carson Beck 1.
Yeah, for sure.
Are we going to Quinn Ewers 2?
Yes.
I'm not the highest on Quinn, but I think that's probably still accurate.
Who would you put 2 then? I mean,
no, in the SEC I would. I mean,
No.
I think nationally, I think Dart kind of has a chance by the end of the year.
You know
I'm
what?
high on Dart. I know a lot of people
what?
are. Or I guess that's in the SEC. I'm an idiot.
Yeah, I would probably think about having Dart too. He'd be 3 for sure.
Okay, so then Dart 3 for sure. So that's our top 3. Brady Cook 4?
Gosh, where do you put Milrow?
Oh, yeah, Milrow 4.
Gosh.
Cook 5. I mean, that's what. So I guess the point of this exercise is so we think Nuss is going to be really good, but there's a lot of great quarterbacks in the SEC this year.
It's a tough list, and because I think it's a tough list because of the good. It's not like a tough list because it's like, man, any of these guys going to do anything?
No, and college football's funny that way, where it lines up every now and then, where like
Yeah.
there's a lot of you'll have empty years and you'll have really good years. This is definitely one of the upswing years.
Yeah. So, just off the top of my mind, and I'm just taking a swing at this, I would go Carson Beck, Jackson Dart, Quinn Ewers, Jalen Milrow, Brady Cook.
And then what are we hoping that that we haven't even gotten to Nuss or Iamaleava?
Yeah, I think we both think both those guys are going to be really, really good. But I do think we have to pay respects to the guys that did it a year ago.
No doubt. I guess it's just for our listening audience, like to show like how crowded that room is going to be. So you got Nuss, Iamaleava, you still got Graham Mertz out there. Maybe then you're getting in like Peyton Thorne and then Jackson Arnold. Who knows? I will say this. Another reason why I'm feeling more, Connor Wegman. Another reason why I'm feeling more bullish too is Venables seems to really believe in Jackson Arnold.
I mean,
did you get to talk to Arnold?
Yeah, he was good.
Okay.
Yeah, he was good. He took full ownership of like the Arizona Bowl game, and I made some decisions I shouldn't have made. I go back and watch that tape. I was a young player, but that's no excuse. And he also talked about his relationship with Dylan Gabriel and how they talked that entire process of, him leaving and Jackson taking that job over. No, he was really good and actually, really opened up. I mean, he's I think he's 4th overall quarterback in the country coming out. I mean, he was highly, highly rated. So you can go back in the bowl game and you can see the skill set, but you can also see the freshman mistakes. Throwing across your body, running to your right, throwing across to the left, over the middle. That's going to get intercepted.
And again, he had 5 new offensive linemen.
Yeah.
5 new offensive, which is that's always going to be very, very hard to do. All right, when we get back, we're going to wrap up the show with Ask the Bench.
Did you just do a whole troll on Taylor by asking him about his story of the day?
Oh, no, okay. We'll
and then not let him do a story of the day?
That's on me. We'll do Tay-Tay's story of the day, then get to Ask the Bench next here at OTB.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Tommy's Windows, Doors, and Siding for your windows, doors, and siding. You need hardy plank or vinyl siding. You need wood or vinyl windows. You need any type of door. You need to get Tommy's. And the work is so quality because Tommy, his background, he came to LSU as a member of the Golden Band from Tigerland. How do you have success as a musician? You tend to be perfectionists, right? You want to perfect your craft. He has taken all of that charisma, all of that motivation that is within him, and he has applied it to his 27 years in this business, and now you are the beneficiary of that obsession, okay? So make Tommy's one of the bids for your project and let them prove to you why they are the answer. GEAUXTommys.com.
Yeah, go to the website today, see what they can do for you. We always encourage you, go check out, testimonials of past clients, also the gallery of work they can do for you. But we also want to remind you they can do custom work. So even if you don't see it in the gallery, it's because, you're going to have a custom project that's going to only fit your home. And Tommy's can give that to you. Go to the website to find that contact information, 225-250-8808, and always online at gotommys.com.
Get the 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge app powered by Bayou Ford and tap the microphone icon to send us your thoughts in an audio message. Your message could be played on air during Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob, The Hunt Palmer Show, and after further review with Matt Mosco.
Farming is a way of life for us. It's not something we get up in the morning and dread going do. It's just something we go to bed at night looking forward to getting up to go do. John Deere equipment is what we as farmers strive to have. It's in your blood, it's in your veins. It's just a part of who you are. Green is what we want to be in. The other tractors were acquired to patch it up to get to where you want to be. Where we want to be is in John Deere. Flip the switch and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our number one product is always customer satisfaction. Visit us online at reliefwindows.com.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
Érase una vez un Infinity, diseñado para despertar tu imaginación y desafiarte a soñar, con 3 lujosas filas de asientos. El totalmente nuevo Infinity QX80 de 3 filas.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal.
Matt Moscona inviting you to join us for Thursday's AFR. Final day from Radio Row at SEC Football Media Days. Arkansas, Auburn, Texas A&M, Kentucky all take their turns. We'll have it covered for you 3 to 6. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
About it every night and day. I'm addicted, wanna jump inside your love.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
I just can't get enough.
All right, it's time for a Tay-Tay NFL Story of the Day.
It's time for Tay-Tay's NFL Story of the Day. Your daily dose of NFL news from Taylor Sharp.
Okay, well, T-Bob inspired me. This is a sad story if your name is Daniel Jones, because the New York Giants are on Hard Knocks, the offseason version, and they made no bones about it that they were trying to trade up the 3rd overall to get a quarterback. The reason they didn't, Brian Daboll only wanted one quarterback. It was former LSU Tiger Jaden Daniels. They were sitting there in the room. Actually, the day before the draft, GM Joe Shane said, hey, have you seen enough from the quarterbacks to want to trade up for one? And he said, if it's Jaden Daniels, yes, I would. I would like to have Jaden Daniels on this team. Like, that was his guy from day one. And on that show, they interviewed every single quarterback. I mean, they even brought in Caleb Williams, and Jaden Daniels is the one guy that Brian Daboll singled out. And even owner John Mara, he pulled Joe Shane to the side. He goes, if we pull off this deal, I'm going to have palpitations. Like, he was super excited about it as well. Daniel Jones wasn't too thrilled about it, but he said he gets it. It was all part of the business. But look, Brian Daboll, he knows his offense. He knows QBs. He loves him some Jaden Daniels.
God, that entire team would be multiple orders of magnitude more exciting if they had Jaden Daniels instead of
Daniel Jones creates no emotion.
No, it's awful.
It's one.
Awful. He is the most paper potato quarterback in the league. Yeah. Taylor, I think that was a great NFL story of the day. The only note that I have, instead of made no bones about it, you should have said made no Jones about it. But one day you'll get there, bud. You should also go to Aggitim for all your AC heat and electrical needs. Go to Aggitim Baton Rouge, AggitimBR.com. You can get that service to the highest screen. Ain't this left turn? Okay, it's real. When you experience for yourself, you're going to be really floored. You're going to be blown away, and you're like, okay, I get it now. I get why T-Bob's always bragging on it. I get why they have such great reviews, and I'm thankful that I went to Accutemp. With storm season here as well, protect you, your family, your home. Look into a whole home generator. Okay, you get a free estimate from Accutemp. They come out of your home, show you exactly how it would work, and then you make the call as to whether or not you want it. So, again, AC, heating, and electrical, you want Aggitemp of Baton Rouge. Let's do a little Ask the Bench, brought to you by Cold Curse Light, Vizzy Hard Seltzer, and Blue Moonlight Sky Citrus Sweet. Are Alondra and Taylor ready for their daddies to come home? What do you think, guys?
I don't know. I mean, typically, like when your parents are out of town, that's when you had a little fun, right?
I feel like whenever I used to have to do it back in the studio, it's not that great. It's so boring. You're just sitting there.
So boring. And you just got Taylor just like probably just taken 24/7 in your ear.
Yeah, no, I'm ready for y'all to get back. It is very boring back here. I would much rather be in Dallas than back here in the studio.
So my dad's actually already home. I talked to him yesterday, but if you're referring to our co-workers, Jake and T-Bob, yeah, I'm ready for him to be back.
Man.
Are T and Jake sharing a room? No. If not, would you ever? Not at this age. I don't really want to. I mean, I can. It's not like it's whatever, but.
I could if it was certain people, if I had to.
Yeah, but everybody, we're all adults. Everybody wants to be. I mean, I shared a room in Hoover with Rick back in the day. Ask the bench.
Rick Cantu. At first, I thought Rick Neuheisel.
No, I would absolutely share a room with Rick Neuheisel. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Has anyone won a title in the new college football game? No, I haven't even played it yet. It's going to be like the first thing I try to do when I get home. Ask the bench, what was Arnold Schwarzenegger? Let's do this one first. What was your favorite James Cameron movie?
Titanic.
I'm going to go.
Aquaman.
All
right.
I see what you did there.
Sorry.
I'm going to go. I'm just going to go chalk. I'm going to go T2. Yeah. I'm not really an Avatar fan. I mean, I kind of want to go Aliens, but I think I like the original Alien a little bit better. Hashtag Ask the Bench. What was Arnold Schwarzenegger's best role? His best and most complete acting performance?
Jingle All the Way.
Yeah, obviously.
I'll tell you, my favorite customer. I don't know. True Lies was pretty good.
Yeah, my favorite customer.
I
Yeah,
like
True
True
Lies
Lies.
is awesome. Another James Cameron movie. Actually. Maybe
yeah.
that's the answer. Ask the Bench.
Jingle.
Is do you like boiled or fried shrimp? I mean, you
boiled.
might say boiled.
I like boiled shrimp, but
I
I'm
like boiled shrimp
going
a
to prefer
lot,
anything
too.
fried.
Me too. That's where I'm at.
Not seafood.
I think
I like
and I like boiled shrimp too. But I think
like oysters. I like them raw. I like shrimp boiled. A catfish I like fried better. Who said that? Doring said he didn't like catfish.
Boy, you better not
yesterday.
be boiled catfish. That sounds awful.
Well, I mean, just people.
No, I know.
You
I'm
could
kidding.
bake
You would like no, I
catfish.
know. You bake it, you grill it. I'm just
But,
thinking about boiling catfish.
Doring said he didn't like catfish yesterday, and I clowned him with all the players that came up there. I knew where they were from. I'm like, this man said he don't like catfish, and
It's
all
a
of them
great
just
way
crushed
to
him.
offend a Southerner.
Yeah.
I would say no. Yeah, I don't know. Something about a big old fried shrimp, though, dude. I could eat 10 million of them. Hey. Thank you all so much, Rivers. Really excellent on-site production the entire week. I know you've been in Hit This Room 24/7. Drake, great job with you as well, pulling double duty. It's
gonna be Drake.
With
Yeah, it sounded like it.
XM. Well,
not like
you
us.
do like him young. I'm just kidding, guys. He does not. Only his kids. Our
Katie
coverage
is
of
3 years
SEC
younger
Media
than me,
Days
so maybe.
2024 brought to you by Parents Construction Roof. Visit ParentBuilt.com.
You gotta get out of there quick.
Relief Windows. We love you. We'll see you later.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
The Windsor Senior Living